Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from newly discovered flesh-eating worms to transparent Bigfoots that may just leave you shocked, yet craving more. Ready? Let's jump in. Starting today's episode, we've got a trail cam clip that may just make you reconsider what your definition of reality is. Take a look. It starts out as an ordinary trail cam capture with a deer standing near the camera. After a few seconds, however, the deer starts looking around almost as though it could tell there was something there with it. At first glance, it may seem like nothing, but after a second and third look, you see it. There's a transparent being or animal there with it. It appears to be bipedal and huge. Makes me think of Sasquatch or Bigfoot, but the big guy isn't transparent, right? This made many who saw the clip initially think it was fake until someone pointed out that the deer actually looks in its direction and somewhat acknowledges its presence. Now, I just described what's happening in the scene. Now we need an explanation. What was the creature and why was it transparent? And how did the creature know of its presence? If you have any answers, please share them in the comments section. This next one is one that had all the men in our studio squirming. We're not sure what the exact backstory is, but the one who sent us the clip states that while working at a site, a construction worker found a small building where he decided to spend the night. He didn't have much in the way of comfort, so he slept on the concrete floor with some bed sheets to combat the cold and discomfort. As he fell asleep, he felt something slithering into his shorts. It was not the warmth of a female human, but something else. Even if it were female, this felt scaly and rough. He looked and then discovered that there was a snake taking comfort in his shorts. I mean, it was a cold night after all. Despite being terrified and scared of getting bitten, he somehow managed to stay completely still and called emergency services. Somehow, he and his new occupant managed to wait for help until it arrived. The minutes must have felt like hours. When the emergency team finally came, they had to be extremely careful not to startle the snake. With incredible precision and patience, they managed to get the snake out of his shorts without it biting him. And the good news is, they got the right snake, if you know what I mean. No matter how you look at it, that was a close one. Just thinking about it gives me chills. Can you imagine being in that situation, trying to stay as still as possible while a snake is literally in your shorts? It's the stuff of nightmares and brings tears to my eyes. What would you have done in his place? While the previous script might have been scary, this next one would have you scratching your head. As you can see, it's a night out on the streets. Everyone appears to be having fun with people cheering and laughing. A man was recording the whole thing, and he ended up recording more than he had initially planned. While reviewing the footage, he noticed something rather bizarre occurring that evening. A man suddenly emerged from between two moving trucks in the middle of the road. He just nonchalantly walked off the road like nothing had happened, completely unfazed. It was as if he'd appeared out of thin air. The craziest part is that the person filming didn't notice this at the time, since he seemingly blended in with everyone and everything happening. This mysterious appearance had raised all sorts of speculations. Could this be evidence of time travelers living among us, just moved through time to get there? Or is there a better explanation for it? Share your thoughts. This next one is a bit disturbing, but given the fact that you guys mean so much to us, I thought I'd include it in today's clip, just in case it helps someone keep their eyes. You see this woman's eye, right? One of her eyes is red and looks very bad. No, she's not a skinwalker or any of the creatures of the night we love so dearly. She's actually suffering from a condition known as acanthamoeba keratitis. For those unfamiliar with the term, it's an eye infection caused by a parasite called acanthamoeba. These parasites live in water, and when they make their way to your eye, they can be very dangerous. People who use contact lenses are especially prone to this infection. Here's how it happens. If you wash your face with undistilled or unboiled water, there's a chance these parasites could get into your eyes. Once they're in, they can cause serious damage. If you wear contact lenses, it's crucial to never shower, swim, or use a hot tub with them in. The risk is just too high. Always make sure to remove your lenses before coming into contact with water. So if you're a contact lens wearer, take this as a reminder to be extra careful with your eye hygiene. It might seem like a hassle, but it's worth it to avoid an infection like acanthamoeba keratitis. Now back to our usual. A passenger on a plane flying about 30,000 feet above the ground from Las Vegas to LA captured something truly fascinating. Take a look. As the plane was cruising along, the passenger noticed these strange-looking bright structures on the ground below. It was almost sundown, so the golden light made the sight even more surreal and mysterious. The footage attracted a lot of curiosity and comments online. One commenter mentioned that these bright structures were actually solar panel plants. That makes sense given the reflective surfaces and the area known for its solar energy projects. Skeptics, however, believe that this could be more than just solar panels. The surreal light show could be some sort of supernatural display. Some are even leaning toward aliens, but I'd like to know what you guys think. A man was out at American Fork Canyon when he saw something moving among the trees. At first, he thought it was a moose or an elk, but as he got closer and took a better look, he realized something was off. As soon as he noticed it, he took off running, and you can see it all in the footage. Let's zoom in and take a closer look at the creature. Right there, standing on two legs, almost cloaked by the dense forest, you can see the outline of a hairy creature. That's no moose or elk. It's very obvious what we're looking at here. A Bigfoot. The creature is upright with a distinct humanoid shape covered in thick fur. The way it moves and stands is unlike any known animal in the area. Imagine being in his shoes, out for a peaceful hike and suddenly spotting this mysterious figure. Your heart would start racing, and you'd probably question if your eyes were playing tricks on you. But the footage doesn't lie. There's something there. People have been reporting sightings of Bigfoot for decades, and yet each new piece of evidence brings fresh excitement and skepticism. Is this the proof we've been waiting for, or is this just another hoax? You see it too, don't you? There were lights coming off the bird as it flew. That's definitely not normal, and people who saw the footage were baffled. How could a bird be emitting blue lights? Naturally, theories started circulating on the platform it was shared. Some thought the bird had come into contact with something electrical, perhaps lights that were going on and off. Others were very convinced that it had to be a drone disguised as a bird with lights for a mysterious and probably sinister purpose. It's hard to confirm and know for sure which of these reasons might be accurate given how far away the bird or device was. We haven't even been told where this was taken. It's moments like these that make you question what you're seeing. Have you come across anything like this? Do you have ideas what might be causing the lights to come off whatever it is in the sky? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. These are some of the reasons why people are always on edge when the theory of governments hiding things from us comes up. Take a look at this strange footage recorded over Larsen Bay, Alaska. Did you see it when the slow-mo came? That was a large, round, planet-like object seen moving in the sky. According to reports, the footage was taken on a live stream, and after it aired, it was quickly taken down by authorities. Many took that to mean that the clip was legitimate, but if the clip is truly legitimate, then just what are we looking at here? Some individuals on the paranormal platform believe it was Nibiru, the mythical rogue planet. Others mention the Death Star straight out of Star Wars. Not everyone is convinced, though. One skeptic suggested it was just a lens flare, an optical illusion caused by the camera. On a normal day, I would jump onto that bandwagon, but the removal of the footage by the FAA only fuels the fire and doubt of all who saw it. Why would they take it down if there was nothing to hide? It's actions like these that make people suspicious and keep conspiracy theories alive. What do you think? Next, we've got another enigma that has had me scratching my head all day. I thought I'd share the headache with you as well in today's bonus segment. Well, enough talk. By the time this video goes up, Julius will be back from his trip and I will have the answers. Whoever gives the best answer has something special from me. If you have paid attention, the shoutouts already started, so don't take yourself out of this one. All the best. This next footage comes from Vietnam and it's downright eerie. A woman stepped outside to turn on the porch lights to brighten up the house since it was dark. Just then, the home security camera catches something unusual. A small creature runs from the closed gate and darts further into the house. Curious, the woman goes to take a closer look, but as soon as she gets a good glimpse of the creature, she bolts out of there in sheer fright. When you take a closer look at the footage, you'll see why she was so scared. This thing, or being, or whatever you want to call it, is humanoid. It has a pair of arms and legs that look human, but way too small to belong to any person. In fact, the being by itself is way too small, and that has had many individuals talking. Some say it's a gnome, others think it might be a duende, and there are even those who claim it's a leprechaun. Gnomes are said to be small, earthy creatures, while duendes are mischievous spirits known in Latin American folklore. And leprechauns, well, we all know they're the little Irish fairies with a knack for hiding pots of gold. Skeptics, however, have their theories. Some suggest it might be a small animal or even a cleverly edited video. But the woman's genuine reaction of fear adds weight to the possibility that she saw something truly out of the ordinary. What do you guys think, though? Shapeshifters are creatures that can take the form of anything. They're mostly mystical creatures, but this footage right here might make you think otherwise. In what looks like some sort of corporate event, you can see a woman in black hugging a man in blue. As soon as they part from the hug, something incredible happens. Did you see it? Let's take another look and focus closely on the woman. There it is. The woman shapeshifts into a man. Just look at how her face distorts before finally settling into the form of a man. It's very chilling to watch. The transformation looks too real to be fake, leaving many people stunned. How could something like this be possible? As usual, opinions are divided on this. Some think the clip is genuine and it shows a part of society that's typically hidden from us, whereas others think it's a cleverly edited clip meant to offset and trick the masses. You've seen it. What do you think? Have you seen anything like this? Never have I seen such an amazing splash of rainbow colors across the sky. It's like someone took a bucket full of rainbow paint and just splashed it all over. It's not the typical arch of a rainbow you might expect. Instead, it's an oddly shaped, colorful patch that looks almost magical. Once it was shared on our paranormal platform, it got everyone talking. We could see the rainbow colors in the sky, but couldn't explain why it was there. Some thought it was an illusion, others thought it was evidence that we live in a simulated reality. Others also felt this was proof that our sky was not real. This is one of those videos where I don't have an explanation. Do you? What would you do if you suspected your wife was trying to kill you? Well, this next clip isn't our usual, but it's a classified capture worth sharing. Robbie, the man in question, had a nightly routine. He would prep his coffee in the coffee maker before going to bed, so it was ready to go in the morning. But something strange was happening. As you can see in the footage, his wife Melody would sneak into the kitchen early in the morning, look around suspiciously, grab something from behind the counter, and pour it in the coffee grounds. Typically, Robbie will just mix his coffee with no problem and go about his day. In recent times, however, Robbie had become suspicious. He noticed something off about his coffee. When he cleaned out the coffee maker, he found it was unusually foamy. Sometimes he even smelled bleach coming from it. Since then, he only pretended to drink it, secretly collecting more evidence. This went on for a while, with Robbie playing along to ensure he had enough proof. After he gathered enough evidence, Robbie went to the police. Melody was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Can you imagine living with someone you love only to find out that they're trying to kill you? It's chilling. Thankfully, Robbie's quick thinking and determination helped him uncover the truth and protect himself. It's a good thing he figured it out now before he became a ghost that wouldn't leave his apartment. Do you see those black fiber-like things in the snow? Well, those just aren't random debris, they're ice worms. Yes, you heard that right. Ice worms. Once they start moving, they look like things that could either zombify or make you sick, right? Well, rest easy, they won't. Scientifically known as Mesentacrichius solifigus, they are fascinating creatures adapted to life in the frigid environments of glaciers and snowfields in the Pacific Northwest of North America. They thrive in temperatures just below the freezing point, emerging at dusk to feed on microscopic algae, bacteria, and organic debris on the snow surface. If you're worried about them zombifying or making you sick, then you would like to know that they're not typically found in human settlements. They're highly specialized for cold, icy environments, primarily inhabiting the surface of glaciers and permanent snowfields in mountainous regions. These habitats offer the specific conditions of temperature, moisture, and food sources like algae and bacteria that snowworms require. So while they aren't really harmful to humans, there's even more good news. They don't stay near us either. A woman was stuck in traffic, tapping her fingers impatiently on the steering wheel. Typical rush hour, she thought. But then something caught her eye in the lane next to her that made her look twice.
I don't even know what happened. I think the wind took it, but...
The car in the other lane wasn't just stuck in traffic, it was stuck in mid-air. It was standing vertically on its back tires, suspended like someone had pressed the pause button in reality. The front of the car pointed straight up toward the sky, defying all logic and gravity. Many who saw this thought it was the final evidence needed to prove that we are indeed living in a simulation where glitches do happen. Others thought it was just a well-edited clip. In my experience, things aren't always what they seem, or do not seem. Either way, what do you guys think? Glitch or lies? Let us know in the comments section.
I don't even know what happened. I think the wind took it, but...
You won't believe what was found recently, this strange device that has everyone scratching their heads. When a piece of metal was placed on it, the metal didn't just get hot, it melted while emitting flames. Now, we're not exactly sure what this device is, but it's got people talking. Some folks believe it could be some sort of alien technology, perhaps it was left behind by extraterrestrials, or maybe it's a piece of top-secret military tech that somehow got misplaced. Some say it might be an experimental piece of equipment designed for high-heat applications, but who knows if that is the case. In this next clip, a man takes out a small black stone and places it on his glass counter. Suddenly, the stone starts to vibrate vigorously. It's quite a sight. When you look around, it seems the shop is a place that sells pearls, stones, and what looks like beads. Now, we know information on where this particular black stone is from, but the bigger question is, how and why is it vibrating like this? It's fascinating to think about. What kind of stone behaves this way? Is there something special about its composition, or is there an unseen force at work? Some people speculate that it's a trick, or that there's something hidden under the counter causing the vibration. Others wonder if the stone has some unique properties or energy that we don't fully understand. What do you think? Is there a scientific explanation for the vibrating stone, or could it be something more mysterious? Someone captured this bizarre sight from across the street, a long pinkish creature sticking out of a hole in the wall. The creature's appearance is strange and unsettling. It looks like a type of tongue or tentacle, but it has a smoother texture, almost like it's covered in some sort of shiny synthetic material. As you watch the footage, you can't help but notice the way it moves. The motion is almost too smooth and too fluid, giving it an unnatural, eerie quality. The creature wriggles and undulates in a way that seems more like something you'd see in a special effects movie than in real life. This brings up an interesting question. Is this creature real, or is it a product of CGI? At this point, it's nothing new when people claim they've spotted a UFO in the sky. We've heard the stories and seen the videos, and yet each new sighting still manages to capture our curiosity. Recently, someone shared footage that's making waves for its bizarre and unexplained nature. In the footage, you can see a dark patch in the clouds, but that isn't just an ordinary shadow or cloud formation. Within this dark patch, there are round orbs. The most intriguing part is the arrangement. There's a large orb in the center with 3 smaller orbs positioned around it in a triangular shape. It's the kind of thing that immediately makes you think of UFOs and extraterrestrial encounters. The video was quite compelling. The orbs move in a way that doesn't seem natural for any known aircraft or weather phenomenon. They maintain their formation and appear to emit a faint glow, adding to the eerie effect. It looks like what we might consider a classic UFO sighting. However, as with any footage like this, skepticism is natural and necessary. Is this a UFO, or could it be some cleverly edited footage? With the advancements in video editing technology, it's easier than ever to create convincing hoaxes. Yet the details in this video, the way the orbs move, the consistency of the light, and the interaction with the clouds make it hard to dismiss outright. It doesn't have the usual telltale signs of amateur editing. So what do you think? Is this the real deal, an actual UFO sighting, or just another digital trickery meant to captivate our imaginations? Every single day, we discover something new and fascinating in the natural world. Recently, scientists have identified a new addition to the already vast number of worm species out there. This little guy has some unique and rather intriguing features. One of the most remarkable aspects of this worm is its ability to fold its face into its body. Imagine that. Its face just tucks away neatly, almost like it's hiding a secret. And when it unfolds its face, it reveals something truly unexpected: 2 black claws. These claws are positioned right on its face, giving it an almost menacing appearance. I wonder what those claws are for. They look like they could cause some serious damage, especially if this worm felt threatened or needed to defend itself. I know the bonus segment came earlier, but I want to see those who know their worms on this platform. There's a rather popular species of worms that this looks like. Does any of you know? In fact, they look so alike that many on our platforms feel it's the same worm. I want to hear the thoughts of those who know it as well. Now take a look at this. A new device has been developed for cutting down tree branches, and it's revolutionizing the way we do it. Forget about climbing high up in the tree or using heavy-duty machines. This gadget changes everything. All you need is this incredible tool. It shoots out a laser, and just like that, it cleanly fells the tree branches. It's almost like something out of a sci-fi movie. With just a simple aim and activation, branches that would usually require a lot of effort and equipment are cut down in seconds. Imagine the possibilities. Less energy exerted, more work done in a shorter period. No more dangerous climbs or cumbersome equipment. Just point, activate, and watch the laser do its magic. This is being marketed as a direct energy weapon designed for precision and efficiency in tree maintenance. It's safe and effective and cuts down on the time and labor usually required for such tasks. This sounds so good, but is it though? About safety, what happens if it misses and hits a human instead? Maybe I'm being the pessimist here, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, it stopped. It's a 92 Adam Sam, or a 92 Adam 2 Sam Paul, and there's no driver.
A policeman stops a car driving in the wrong direction in Arizona. As it approaches the vehicle, it notices there's no driver. Instead, it's one of those self-driving cars.
Hi!
Connected to rider support. This call may be recorded for quality assurance.
This isn't just any self-driving car, it's a Waymo built by Google. These cars are supposed to be the epitome of safe autonomous driving, programmed to follow traffic rules and coexist with human drivers. But here we have one cruising down the road in the wrong direction. Many individuals started condemning the technology and stating how unsafe it was. I understand their concerns, but it turns out there's actually a reason why it did that. A user by the name Joe Martel pointed out under the original post, "If anyone understands anything, this was due to the construction flagman instructing the vehicle into the other lane. The system didn't recognize that it needed to go back into the other lane. This is an example how circumstances can drastically challenge these systems." While this does explain what happened, you have to ask yourself, are they really safe? With more and more of these autonomous vehicles hitting the streets, it's hard not to worry about their reliability. What do you think? A group of people has gathered outside, staring at this strange-looking object falling from the sky. The falling object has a round part draped in what looks like clear cloth. As it comes crashing down, it looks so bizarre, almost like a ghostly figure descending from above. People are naturally intrigued and a bit spooked by the sight. What could it be? A ghost, an alien, a supernatural event? The suspense is palpable. However, some commenters had a rather interesting explanation for this mysterious object. It turns out it might not be anything otherworldly at all. According to some folks, this strange spectacle is actually a giant firework attached to a cloth parachute. It's a traditional practice in certain parts of the world. Some say it's done in Thailand, others believe it's a common sight in Indonesia, and a few mention India. These fireworks are launched high into the sky, and as they fall, the cloth parachute deploys, creating a slow, eerie descent that can look pretty strange from a distance. The round part you see is likely the firework casing, and the clear cloth is the parachute material. It's fascinating how something that looks so mysterious and otherworldly can have such a simple explanation rooted in cultural traditions. Before we move on to the next clip, one user actually said something that some team members were considering true. Thankfully, the user was wrong. Phew! Brazil has long been a hotspot for UFO encounters, and this latest footage adds another fascinating chapter to that story. Someone captured this strange sight from their rooftop, and it's leaving people scratching their heads. In the video, you can see a strange-looking light hovering in the sky. It's not just any light. It looks weird up there, flickering and moving in a way that's hard to explain. And then it just disappears into the dark sky, only to reappear moments later. Watching the footage, it almost seems like the light belongs to an invisible craft up there. Just look at that. It's as if something is trying to cloak itself, but the light is giving it away. This isn't the first time Brazil has had such mysterious encounters. Due to this reason, many individuals think we're dealing with real UFOs. There's a small sect who think otherwise. They believe UFOs wouldn't have lights, as it's a human thing. They believe that there has to be a more mundane explanation for the sighting. What do you think? You saw it, didn't you? That's what looks like a meteor flying over the crowd, and you'd expect people to be freaking out, or at least reacting to this ball of light zooming above their heads, right? But strangely enough, no one in the crowd even seems slightly bothered by it. The meteor-like object looks so real, but the crowd's lack of reaction is just too strange. If it were an actual meteor, there would be chaos. People would be panicking, running for cover, or at least pointing at the sky. The fact that everyone is so calm has led a lot of people to believe it's just a hoax. Some are saying it's a hologram, while others think it's CGI. One commenter even mentioned it might be part of a concert or some kind of elaborate performance art. What do you think?
Okay, where is this car that's reflecting on this Boston Pizza window? It's a Corvette C8. I seriously don't see that car anywhere.
A man was parked in a parking lot opposite a chain of shops and restaurants, just minding his own business, when he noticed something really strange. On the glass of the Boston pizza place, he sees the reflection of an orange Corvette C8. It's a striking car, hard to miss. But when he looks around, there's no orange Corvette in sight. There's not even a Corvette C8 anywhere near the parking lot. How is this possible? Some are calling it a classic glitch in the Matrix. How else do you explain something like this? But what are your thoughts? Would you look at that? There's a huge rodent scurrying around the lounging area of the mall. People are absolutely losing it. Everyone's running away from the creature in pure shock. Honestly, I can't blame them. Just look at the size of this thing. That's one big rat. Actually, it's not a rat at all. This creature is called a nutria. Nutrias are also known as coipus, and they're quite the sight to behold. These guys can grow up to 2 feet long, not including their tails, and can weigh around 20 pounds. Imagine seeing something that big running around where you're trying to relax. Nutrias are usually found near bodies of water like rivers, lakes, and marshes, not in the middle of a bustling mall. They have webbed feet and are great swimmers, so seeing one out of its natural habitat and causing a scene in a mall is definitely unexpected. People in the mall must be thinking they're witnessing some kind of rodent apocalypse. The way everyone is scrambling, you'd think you were in a horror movie. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get it. What would you do if you saw a nutria running around your local mall? This next footage is one that's certainly no 3D animation. Take a good look at it. We know the cartoons make bears look cuddly et al., but this footage shows us just how dangerous they can be. The footage is from Yellowstone Park, and the bear came out of the woods and suddenly went after the pack ranger on duty. Fortunately for the ranger, he had his vehicle parked nearby, and his vehicle had a gun in it. A few shots into the sky and the bear was scared off. I wouldn't want to imagine what could have happened if he'd encountered the bear without appropriate equipment or training. I know I've said it before, but I say it again. Be very careful when in bear territory and, if possible, avoid it completely, especially when alone and not trained for such situations. Did you know bears could climb? Well, of course you do. We'd already seen a bear climbing after a man earlier. As much as we know bears are capable of climbing, we never knew they could climb this high. And guess what? It went that high to go after a baby bird. I'm pretty sure the mama bird thought its baby was perfectly safe up there, and I would have thought so too, but this bear only found it a challenge to conquer. This is not something we're accustomed to seeing, and we can even hear the one who recorded it gasping in surprise. But do tell us, have you ever seen such a thing? We'd love to hear about your experience. Next, we have footage from a TikTok user who claims to have a pretty wild encounter with what they believe was a Yeti. Now, if you're not familiar, Yetis are like the snowy cousins of Bigfoots, often associated with the remote corners of Asia and sporting that signature snow-white fur. Let's take a look. Our brave adventurer and his friend decided to take a little nighttime foray into the woods. You know, the kind of thing you do when you're up for a bit of mystery. As they're poking around in the dark, they suddenly hear this strange and eerie noise that sends shivers down their spines. Naturally, they swing their camera in the direction of the sound, ready for a good old investigation. What they find in the glow of their camera's light is pretty darn mysterious. There's this creature, and its face seems to have the kind of fur you'd associate with a Yeti. But here's the kicker. The rest of the creature's features are lost in the darkness. It's like they're playing a game of hide-and-seek with the shadows. Now, as you'd expect, once this mysterious critter realizes it's being discovered, it pulls a vanishing act and melts back into the night. So here's the million-dollar question. Did this fearless duo truly cross paths with a real-life Yeti that night, or are they simply misleading us? Share your thoughts. Next, we have footage that we're still trying to wrap our heads around. This TikTok motorbiker who films his adventures on his bike through the woodlands was on one of his adventures when he realized that he was actually lost. After riding around trying to find his way out without much success, he stops to try and reach a friend, but without much luck. As he stood there wondering what to do, he heard hisses coming from the bushes. He quickly turns around trying to find the creature. Whatever it is, it appears to be making really good use of the camouflage the plants make possible. The uploader of the footage indicated where the creature was standing with the arrow you see on your screen. But try as we may, we couldn't see the creature. Can you? If so, what creature are we dealing with? Could it be a bear or wolf of some kind? Or perhaps a cryptid? It's a Bigfoot, isn't it? Please do share what you see. Now for something paranormal and freaky. Take a look at this footage that we came across. As much as I'd love to tell you that's a picture of a lady in front of her house, it's not. The image was sent in by the real homeowner when he realized the camera in front of his house had been capturing images of this woman. In this footage, we see the lady dressed in a gown with a head covering standing in front of a house. If you paid close attention, you'd realize that there are no other houses in sight, which could mean this was captured in a very remote area, which leaves us with lots of questions. Who is this woman, and why does she appear only at night in front of the house? Many who saw the footage believed that she was a ghost. Others believe she may have been killed in the area and typically returns to the spot she was killed at. As much as I'd love to believe this isn't the case, the eerie nature of the footage says otherwise. What do you think, though? Do you believe in aliens? If you answered no, then be prepared to have that stance challenged. Yes, that's a 9-foot being that was captured at midnight. Around the same time, unidentified objects were seen falling from the sky from a strange flying object that didn't look like any aircraft we have known on the planet. From afar, these unidentified flying objects look like an array of lights in the sky, just like something you'd expect out of an alien movie. Those who saw it were convinced that they were alien spacecraft. But were they really, though? Well, before I go any further, pause the video and write your thoughts in the comments section. If you're still here, I guess you have written your thoughts. Investigating the footage, we made some profound discoveries. A similar video with the same alien creature was posted at least one day before this whole alien stuff was posted online. The post actually went viral, which, and that might have motivated the one who used the footage to do so. A closer look at the original poster's hashtag and you see Blender, which is an animating and GI tool. This basically means the whole thing is a hoax, which is a bummer. Imagine taking an evening stroll to unwind after a long day's work. Suddenly you feel eyes on you, prompting you to look around to ensure you're not imagining things. That's exactly what you see in the clip you're watching. The video clip was captured by a man, as evident from the voice we hear. It was taken in the dead of night, making it challenging to determine his exact location while recording. In the midst of this, a pair of glowing eyes can be seen in the far distance, staring right back at him. I can't help but wonder what creature they belong to and what this creature might be planning. It appears to be patient, waiting for the man to slip up so it could launch a sneak attack. Thankfully, the man remained alert the whole time and made it to safety. But you have to wonder, what was that creature? Is it an apex predator in the woods the man was exploring, or could the man have encountered a supernatural being and been merely lucky to have made it out alive? Share your thoughts with us. If you've experienced something similar, don't forget to let us know as well. If you still haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do it now? Thank you very much. It means a lot and allows us to create more content like this. Has your dashboard cam ever captured something that left you stupefied? Stupefied? Yep, I think that's the word. By stupefied, I mean so surprised that you're just tongue-tied. Well, the next footage is sure to leave you feeling like that. Take a look. Did you see that? This dashcam footage was taken by an unknown driver traveling along a highway lined with trees, with a tall mountain in the distance. A few seconds into the recording, a small figure could be seen attempting to cross the road. What is that? Ever seen anything like it? If you answered no, you won't be alone, because the truth is we haven't either. And despite our thorough research process, we couldn't find anything from our paranormal archives. We've never even thought something like that existed in the first place. Many in the paranormal community who saw the footage wondered the same, and while some thought it was a paranormal creature, others thought we could be dealing with something alien. Some even believed it was a glitch in the Matrix. While those seem plausible, allow me to introduce the supernatural. Have you considered the fact that this could be a spirit or demonic entity? Does that seem like too much of a stretch, or do you also think we're actually dealing with something of that nature? Share your thoughts in the comments section, as I'd really love to hear them. Dogman and werewolves are two mythical creatures, both canine and as elusive as the Bigfoot. In this trail cam image, we can see what looks like a canine on its 2 feet walking in the forest. The unique characteristics of the creature have fueled speculation among Facebook users, with contrasting opinions on its identity. Some assert that it resembles a dog, specifically a pit bull, pointing to its bony shoulders and skinny arms as potential canine features. Others, however, veer into the realm of the supernatural, suggesting that this enigmatic being could be a skinwalker, a creature from Native American folklore capable of transforming into various animal forms. And here we are, caught in the middle of this debate. On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps us out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you. So please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Nature, with its breathtaking beauty and inherent mysteries, often presents us with awe-inspiring spectacles that challenge our understanding of the world. This fascinating piece of footage captured on a boat in the Durban Sea, South Africa, has added another layer to the mystery of nature. This video showcases a mesmerizing sight where the sea seems to be divided into 2 distinct sections. The waters, for reasons not immediately apparent, refuse to mix, creating a visual spectacle that has left onlookers in a state of wonder and amazement. As you sail through this mesmerizing spectacle, the question hangs in the air like mist on the sea. What in the world could be the explanation for this? Instead of giving you the answer right away, let's treat this like trivia. Does anyone know the answer? Our next clip was taken by a security camera which may have captured 2 crimes. Take a look. So here's the deal. The security camera picked up a man strolling away with a child who was throwing a pretty serious tantrum. Meanwhile, approaching from the other direction was a woman holding a bag. As she gets closer, things took a bit of an unexpected turn. You see, the handle of her bag slipped and its contents spilled right onto the ground. Now here's where it gets interesting. The color of the footage gives everything a rather suspicious tint. You might even think there's blood on the ground, and that strange man with the upset child, well, he starts to look like he could be up to no good, possibly involved in some sort of kidnapping, right? In fact, all who saw the footage thought the same thing. But here's where it takes a twist. After some investigation in the neighborhood, it turns out that things are not what they seem. That man, he's the child's father, and the tantrum, just a case of a little one having a tough day. And as for the lady with the bag, she's not a serial killer. No, she was simply carrying some oil that accidentally spilled. So don't worry, no crimes were committed here. It's a good reminder that appearances can sometimes be quite deceiving, and what we initially see on security cameras might not always be the full story. You start watching this video and at first you only see one person on the camera. In the background, in the darkness, you spot some freaky stuff going on. Objects seem to be floating in the air and it's enough to give you goosebumps. But wait, when you take a closer look, you realize these things are actually dolls of different skin colors hanging by a thread. There's one with dark skin and the others are white. Creepy, right? If you follow this channel, you know that sometimes the spirits of demons are trapped in dolls like this and left out the way you were seeing. Could this whole area be made up of dolls with demons trapped in them? It's hard to tell. Even the one filming doesn't know what's happening, but he does state that there was an eerie presence. He even felt one of those dolls tell him to leave. When it got overwhelming, he left to return with someone else to investigate another time. What do you think of the whole thing? Would you explore an area like this, or would you avoid it like the plague? Because, well, I know I would. A trail camera set in the forest at UP, Michigan, captured a strange creature that has left quite a debate on Facebook. In the image, we can see a creature, but the creature looks hazy, indicating that the creature was moving when the photo was taken. But the creature itself, oh boy, it's not your everyday forest dweller. Take a look at its bony shoulders and skinny arms. It appears to have glowing eyes as well. Some Facebook users say this is a dog, a pit bull, but others think this could be a Skinwalker. Unfortunately, there's not much to work with. It's a blurry snapshot, and the more you squint, the more questions pop up. So the Facebook jury is still out on this one. Dog, mysterious creature, or maybe the elusive Skinwalker. Who knows? In Minnesota, a creature has been spotted roaming the woods. The sighting of a mysterious creature in Minnesota has sparked intrigue and speculation as eyewitnesses describe a juvenile creature with similarities to Bigfoot but with distinctive features that set it apart. This being stands at a height of approximately 3 to 4 feet, presenting a unique combination of characteristics that raises questions about its identity and potential classification as a new species. The creature's dark eyes and unusually large mouth differentiated from the typical features associated with Bigfoot sightings. The fur on its head sticks out in various directions like it's had a bad hair day. What do you think this is? Still on Bigfoot, let's dive into another piece of evidence in the ongoing quest to uncover the elusive Bigfoot. In this particular image, although it's not crystal clear, you can still make out some intriguing details. Here we have what appears to be a brown-furred Bigfoot standing tall in all its colossal splendor. The creature seems to be gazing downward, and there's even what looks like a sizable rock near its leg. Now, when it comes to Bigfoot, there have been countless images and videos, with some turning out to be hoaxes, but this image, well, it does seem to have an air of authenticity, doesn't it? It's one of those instances where it's tough to brush it off as just a person in a costume. Picture this. You're out in the woods enjoying a peaceful nap among the trees when something stirs in the leaves nearby. Your curiosity piqued, you turn to investigate, and what you see takes your breath away. Now stop imagining and pay attention to the footage. There, amidst the towering trees, stands a massive figure. It's as tall as the trees themselves and covered in dark brown fur, which allows it to blend in seamlessly with the forest. Seeing a creature that big lurking around the same location you are in and being aware of the fact that you're in the forest alone with it is a sight that could make your heart skip a beat. The uploader felt no different and decided to record what he was seeing. A lot of things raced through his mind as he did. Perhaps, if he didn't live, this could serve as evidence of what had taken his life, and if he lived, he'd have evidence to show the rest of the world how dangerous that part of the woods is. Watching the footage now, we're glad he recorded, but just what is it? You don't have to be a paranormal expert to know that that's definitely a Bigfoot. Which of the creature is that tall with a human-like gait and fur all over it? It's definitely a Bigfoot. What do you think? Now, if you thought zombies only existed in movies and games like The Last of Us, then this footage will surely shock you. The zombie you just saw in the footage appears to be brain dead. It's running around in circles and charging at any living thing that makes the slightest move around it. This is something we've seen zombies do in movies and games we have seen and played. But what's actually happening here? Well, the moose is actually suffering a neurological disease that's caused by a brainworm parasite. The disease is referred to as paralelephostronglosis, or the paralelephostronglosis tenuous infection. Once infected, the moose goes through the symptoms we mentioned earlier till they drop dead. It's a very sad thing, and if you ever see a moose exhibiting any of these symptoms, quickly call the authorities and stay clear of the animal. Now let's take a look at this footage. What do you see? It's hard to tell, isn't it? It just looks like a dark, cloudy image, but take your time and observe it critically. A face should be forming now in your mind. The image looks like the lower part of a face. From the top bit toward the lower bit of the face, you see a nose, then some lips, and what look like cheeks and a beard. We wish we could show you the rest of the body, but unfortunately, this is all the trail cam managed to capture. Perhaps something obstructed the view from the side. So, the million-dollar question, what is that? A human, perhaps a large and hairy one? A gorilla, or a cryptid like Bigfoot? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. We'd love to see them. Take a look at what some believe to be the North American great ape. This footage was captured in a lush green forest. In the forest stands a tall ape-like creature with brown fur and an angry expression, charging towards something that has clearly provoked it. It appears to be stumbling, mouth wide open, as if anticipating a moment of violence and perhaps secretly wishing for a supernatural escape. It's hard to tell what was going through its mind, but that's one big ape with surprisingly human features. What's more, it's moving like a human would. I don't know about you, but I'm leaning toward the possibility of this being a Bigfoot. What thinkest thou? And now here is a true mystery to ponder. In this image, we see what looks like the back of a creature. Can you identify it? Do you know its name and species? Do you know any rare facts about it? If you do, then your task is simple. Name what it is, give us a rare fact about, and we'll review it. If you're indeed right, your name shall be immortalized among the few names of individuals on this channel who have succeeded in identifying our bonus content. When writing out your answer, start with bonus footage so we easily identify it among the comments. The answer with the most accurate description with the most convincing reason will win a feature in our next video. All the best. What did you think? Hopefully that didn't make you throw away your phone. Not to say that's what happened to me, but I may have just known someone who damaged his phone by watching this footage. But let's take a critical look at the footage. In the footage, we see a head pop out from behind the tree and quickly disappear as it appeared. Just when we thought we had seen the last of it, it reappears and pulls down the trail camera. Imagine setting up your trail camera in the woods and going back sometime later to find the camera roughed up and off the very place you set it up. So what do you make of it? Is it a man with makeup on, or could we be dealing with a paranormal being? A rake, perhaps? Share your thoughts with us. So, what do you see in this CCTV footage? It looks like a human walking on all fours like an animal will, right? A closer look and you'd realize that its movements are far from natural. Because of this fact, all who saw the footage when it was uploaded thought it might be a Skinwalker. Despite this assertion, there are some who also thought it might be a rake instead. There's a third sect thought that thinks there's nothing supernatural about the footage and that it's merely a human either playing games or acting weirdly. I'm tempted to lean toward the third assertion, but what do you think? Now let's take a look at some rather bizarre footage from India. In this clip, there was a mysterious woman perched atop a tree, and the whole situation is nothing short of perplexing. No one seems to know who she is or how she managed to get up there. What even makes it more intriguing is the fact that the branches of the tree look rather feeble, clearly not designed to hold a person's weight. Yet there she stands without a bother or care in the world. If that doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother me and the locals who live there. In what isn't an isolated incident, there's another piece of footage showing her in a similar tree-bound situation. According to the neighbors, she's something of a regular presence in the area. She spends long hours dancing and praying on these trees, usually in the mornings. But who could this woman possibly be? Is she some kind of deity, a mystical figure, or perhaps someone with unique powers? Well, the truth remains elusive, and it's yet another reminder that our world is filled with mysteries that defy easy explanations. In this particular picture, taken deep in the woods, there's something rather out of the ordinary. It's a creature, and it's quite sizable, enough to make you wonder, could this be a Bigfoot? Bigfoot, of course, is a regular player in the world of cryptid sightings. But here's where it gets interesting. In the realm of unexplained phenomena, there's the occasional possibility of staged Bigfoot sightings, perhaps for the sheer fun of it. It adds a layer of uncertainty to the mix, so that brings us to the big question. Is this creature the real deal, an actual Bigfoot, or just someone having a bit of fun in a costume? Tell us what you think. In western Massachusetts, a hunter recently had an intriguing encounter that left him questioning whether he had stumbled upon a legendary creature or a simple tree branch. The creature was standing among some broken tree branches, so he was not sure if what he saw was a Bigfoot or a tree branch. It was brown, and he was about 7 feet or more, making it look like one of the branches. Faced with the potential danger of encountering an elusive and powerful creature like Bigfoot with only a bow for protection, the hunter opted for a cautious approach. Instead of confronting the unknown, he wisely decided to capture the moment through a photograph. This decision not only ensured his safety, but also provided an opportunity to scrutinize the image later for a more informed analysis. What do you think? Is that a Bigfoot or a tree branch? What do we have here? Someone videoed this strange moment during a rainstorm. The rain was pouring heavily on one side of the road, while the side the person was recording was untouched. But when you look at the skies, both have rainy clouds on them. So what do you think is happening here? It's like Mother Nature's playing a game of rain dodgeball, and this person just happened to catch the action in full swing. One side drenched, the other side not a drop in sight. It's a meteorological mystery. Ah, the wonders of trail cameras, capturing candid moments of the natural world's inhabitants in their element. Now, in this particular snapshot, we find ourselves amidst a family gathering of Mastelidae. That's the scientific term encompassing the marvelous world of weasels, otters, badgers, martens, and their kin, all carnivorous animals with a taste for adventure. In this image, 5 of these little critters have gathered around the trail cam, their eyes aglow, likely due to the camera's flash. It's a charming sight, but it's also a bit of a puzzle. They look like they're distracted by something to the left side, a glow of unknown and perhaps alien origin. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know we take our orbs seriously because they typically mean supernatural or paranormal activity. But what could this glowing light caught in the capture mean? Is it also spiritual, or are we dealing with an alien entity here? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. In this video clip, we catch a glimpse of a towering yet incomplete tree. Only half of it is visible. As we admire the tree, the scenery, and the setting sun, something extraordinary unfolds, a humanoid figure floating in thin air. This person appears carefree, as if attempting to break Jesus' walking on water record. Whatever the case, the man, or whatever it is that's being filmed, levitates for a while before disappearing behind one of the houses. It may not be Jesus Christ, but you have to wonder, what did we just see? Are there powerful beings amongst us? Does he live in the community and is simply returning home from doing superhero stuff in secret? It's hard to say, but this whole thing is just bizarre and weird. What do you make of it? While at the beach, this person noticed something unusual about the wave pattern on the sea. Instead of the horizontal, he saw square waves on the sea, which is quite unusual. This is uncommon and occurs when two ocean swells collide at right angles, creating powerful rip currents and unpredictable waves. The collision can result in strong riptides, making it dangerous for anyone around at the time. So here's the deal. If you ever spot square waves, it's not the time to channel your inner daredevil. These cross-sea collisions can create riptides that are not to be messed with. It's nature's way of saying, hey, maybe find a safer spot to enjoy the view. While driving by the woods, this person comes across a creature walking among the trees in the woods. A mysterious creature strolled among the trees. And get this, it's not your everyday woodland critter. Nope, it's walking on two legs like a full-on bipedal situation. Now the trees are doing a little dance, playing peekaboo with our creature friend, but there's no mistaking it. We might just be witnessing a real-life Bigfoot here, folks. I mean, unless someone's decided to throw on a furry costume and take a leisurely stroll in the woods for reasons that escape us. But come on, with all these howls and growls in the background, we're leaning toward the Bigfoot theory. What do you think? This video was taken deep in the heart of the Indonesian forest. In the frame, you can see something rather peculiar. A woman dressed in white robes standing by a tree and gazing directly into the camera. It's the kind of scene that might make you think twice before venturing into the woods alone. Some local folks suggest she might be a witch or a spirit. Watching the footage, I can understand where they are coming from. I mean, it does look like it could definitely fit the bill. When you consider the fact that the locals have folklore of a witch that fits the exact description we see in the footage, then you know that they're definitely onto something. This adds a layer of intrigue to the story. Now, when it comes to mysterious encounters like these, there are always skeptics offering various explanations. But as is often the case, the true mystery behind this footage remains unsolved, leaving us with questions and room for speculation. I really believe there's something paranormal about that strange-looking woman. What about you? The mysteries that trail cams unveil never cease to amaze. Take this unusual capture, for instance. In the frame, we see a creature that defies easy explanation. It's a bit like a riddle wrapped in an enigma. At first glance, this creature might remind you of a tiny zebra, and it's standing upright, which is rather uncommon in the animal kingdom. The creature captured by the cam is adorned with zebra-like stripes, and its hands and legs appear surprisingly human. When it comes to the head, however, the image is a bit blurry, making it challenging to discern. Taking a second, third, and fourth look at the image, I started to doubt its authenticity. I'm no CGI expert, but this looks computer-generated. Could someone be trying to throw us off using something like this, or are we dealing with something that's so bizarre it looks fake? Personally, I'm tempted to lean towards it being CGI, but then again, the world you and I live in is a strange one. Anything's possible. What do you personally think, though? As you ponder on the unknown species, take a look at this interesting footage. What do you see? If you said giant tracks, you were right, but who could they belong to? Well, if you know anything about cryptids and you have been following this page for a while, then the answer should be pretty much simple. It's Bigfoot. Yeah, you heard that right, a Bigfoot. The person who stumbled upon this massive footprint discovered several others nearby. This was preserved because of the mud at the riverbank. It's said that the authorities tried to get rid of the evidence but couldn't get it all. If that's true, then I wonder what else are they hiding from us. But as you wonder with me, I have a task for you. I intentionally left out the area where this footage was taken from. Can you guess? If you know, drop the name in the comments section, and if you're right, you get a shout out in our next video. Next, we have this trail cam footage that shows a spectral being moving in the background. Just pay attention to the video and you'll see it. Have you seen it? It looks translucent and is moving in the background. If you're having trouble seeing it, pay attention to the direction in which the dog stares and barks. Did you see it? Yes, that's what I'm referring to. The footage was taken by a man who was exploring the woods. He realized his dog was barking in a direction. He looked in the same direction, and this is what he saw. He refused to return to the woods or even talk about the encounter. But what do you think about it? Does it look real, or do you think it's merely a product of 3D animation? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. And for our final clip of the day, we thought we'd leave you with something fascinating. Ready? Enjoy. This fascinating piece of footage is from Uganda and was taken back in 2018. The video brought to light a truly remarkable sight, a massive cow with not one, not two, but 3 enormous horns perched atop its head. It's the kind of thing that might remind you of a creature from a fantasy movie, something right out of a fairy tale. But here's the catch. This isn't a fictional creation. These cows are indeed a real species found in Uganda, known for growing exceptionally large and thick horns like the one in the video. This particular cow with its trio of horns is something of a rarity, a unique individual among its bovine peers. Just take a moment to appreciate the sheer size of this magnificent creature. It's a testament to the diversity and wonder of the animal kingdom. Ever witnessed land pulling off some bizarre moves like this? It's almost like watching a whale breach the ocean's surface for a gulp of air, but on dry land. So what's the scoop here? Could there be some elusive creature lurking beneath the earth trying to break free? Now hold your sea monsters and giant earthworms, because as thrilling as that would be, or terrifying depending on your perspective, that's not exactly the deal here. In reality, we're in the land of mystery. No one can say for sure what's causing this jaw-dropping phenomenon. Some folks toss out the idea that it might be the Earth's tectonic plates getting restless and shifting, causing this peculiar rise. Others have a different take, suggesting that perhaps gas is making a sneaky escape from the depths, creating these unusual land surges. They even point to the bubbles in the water as evidence. But here's the kicker. While these theories might sound pretty sensible, they're still in the yet-to-be-proven camp. So don't pack up your monster hunting gear just yet. Could there be a colossal creature on the move beneath the soil? Who knows? Or maybe I'm just being a tad too jittery. If you got some wild guesses or a solid hypothesis, drop them in the comments section below. Stepping away from potential hoaxes, take a look at this footage. Did you see it? A creature quickly runs across the camera frame. The creature's brown fur and impressive size left us in awe. Bears don't run like that, and no chimpanzee or gorilla is capable of moving on its 2 feet like that. That leaves us with just one suspect: Bigfoot. However, there's one peculiar thing. The Bigfoot in this footage appears considerably smaller than any we've featured on this channel. Could we actually be looking at a young or juvenile Bigfoot? My team and I certainly do think so, but what about you? This capture was sent to us by a subscriber on this page. This trail cam capture is as confusing as they get. We're unable to decipher and tell what we're actually looking at. It looks like a dark cloud of some sort, perhaps a forming apparition from another dimension, or a cloud of insects or something of that sort, as it appears to be moving as well. We just can't tell what it is and refuse to believe it's not real. Can you help? Now let's step into the realm of the unknown with a piece of footage from Mexico that's left folks scratching their heads. It started with a curious Facebook user sharing the video playing on your screen. It showcased a rather peculiar sight in the night sky. What we see here is a strangely shaped light bathed in an orange hue gently pulsing in the darkness. It's the kind of sight that instantly piques your curiosity. The best part? No one has managed to conjure up a reasonable explanation for what this enigmatic light might be. But wait, the intrigue doesn't stop there. In a truly jaw-dropping twist, this singular light seems to pull off a cloning act, duplicating itself in the sky. Yes, you heard that right. It's as if it's saying, one mystery light is not enough. Let's add another. What could this be? Could it be some sort of alien structure hovering above, or perhaps an as-yet unexplained natural phenomenon? Next, we have bizarre footage that was taken by a group of friends embarking on a hike through the Turkey Mountains. What they caught sight of has us spooked and scratching our heads. Take a look. There, in the fading light, a pair of eyes pop out of nowhere, glowing eerily in the twilight. When they focus in, they notice something rather peculiar. What appears to be a set of horns framing those glowing eyes. The horns are quite sizable and curved downward, creating a silhouette that reminds them of the beast from Beauty and the Beast. Now, the rational part of their mind suggests it could be a mountain sheep or a goat, which is not an unusual sight in these parts. But there's something about this creature that gives off an uncanny feeling. A shiver down the spine, if you may. Taking a second look at the creature, it definitely looks like it has a body that's humanoid. But how's that even possible? The paranormal community has been divisive about its identity since the footage was shared, but many lean towards the possibility of it being a Skinwalker. What say you? Ever had one of those moments where you knew that your life was on the line? Well, here we have footage recorded from the GoPro camera on a biker's helmet. While riding on a path in the woods, he was spotted by a grizzly bear. I'm guessing the bear was curious about the biker, or it was really hungry because it gave the biker a hot chase, not even backing down for a second. Don't underestimate bears because of their size. They are very good runners. The bear chased the biker, still not giving up. Unfortunately, the biker came to a path that was blocked by a tree branch, and judging by the speed of the bear, it could catch up to him. So he got off the bike and ran as fast as he could. We don't know what happened after that, but it seems the biker got out of there safely. Here we have another footage of dinosaurs that was taken on a farmland. In the footage, we can see a little girl running around with what looks like tiny dinosaurs. The footage, when inspected, has no signs of editing or CGI, meaning that it's legit. I don't know how to feel about the dinosaurs living among us. We all know what happened in Jurassic World. Though it was a movie, how things played out will not be any different if dinosaurs are indeed amongst us. Do we even have the technology to protect ourselves from them? So here we are, caught between awe and a healthy dose of caution. What's your take on this mini dino spectacle? Are we witnessing the dawn of a dino era, or is this just a quirky moment in the annals of farmland adventures? Now here's another tale of peculiar woodland encounters. A family decided to have a nice outing in the woods. Just some quality time in nature, but as often happens in such settings, they stumble upon something they didn't anticipate. Out there, in the distance, they spotted a rather intriguing sight, a cryptid. This creature has dark fur and was strolling around on two legs. Now, if you ever heard about Bigfoot, this might ring a bell because it shares a few similarities. Naturally, the family didn't stick around to exchange pleasantries. Nope, they hightailed it out of there, and honestly, who can blame them? Speaking of Bigfoot, this next camera recording was taken amidst a dense forest, capturing quite an interesting scene. At first, we see a large creature moving slowly through the woods, but as it draws nearer, it suddenly breaks into a brisk sprint. Now, the big question here is, could this be a Bigfoot? If so, why is it charging toward the one filming? This behavior is quite different from the typical Bigfoot sightings where it's often seen just standing or strolling about. It's a unique twist that's piqued the interest of all who follow Bigfoot lore. But there's another layer to this story. The vibe in the video, it's not just the creature's unusual behavior that stands out, but also the atmosphere, which seems a bit tense and unsettling. This brings up a concern we often have with these kinds of videos. Is the person who filmed it okay? There's not a lot of information beyond his filming, but you have to wonder, did the Bigfoot attack? Was he hurt? What exactly happened? We're not privy to the information, but you can't deny that the video carries a sense of unease, adding another layer of intrigue to the whole mystery. Ever experienced a real-life Matrix glitch? Well, here's a bizarre one for you. A man walks into his kitchen only to find a drop of water suspended in mid-air beneath the faucet. Now, before you dismiss it as clever editing, hold on. The man decides to put the glitch to the test. He swipes his finger through the suspended water, and lo and behold, it falls on his finger like a perfectly ordinary drop. These surreal situations fuel the belief in a cosmic simulation. Are we merely players in a grand virtual reality, or is this just a cosmic hiccup on this reality-defying phenomenon? While checking out an abandoned building, an adventurer was interrupted by a strange creature that creeped out of the open window. There, crawling into the building, is a pale humanoid creature with huge dark eyes. Its body was slender, and its hands had claws. Our adventurer, being the sensible human they are, doesn't stick around for a meet and greet. Nope, they hightail it out of there faster than you can say, "Spooky surprise." Can't blame them, really. Now let's dive into this creature. It's like a weird mix of mysterious and maybe a touch of creepy. It's like the long-lost cousin of the rake. Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos like this for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Next, we have footage that might blow your mind, and it's no exaggeration. Let's watch. In this video clip, the trail camera is positioned next to a tree covered in green growth. But the beauty of the forest isn't our focus today. Instead, it's this strange figure that emerges from nowhere and appears to be walking toward the camera. Although it's not fully visible, we can discern that it's black in appearance, possibly 9 or more feet high, and with fur that's as black as night. Could it be? No, that's the wrong thing to say. The right thing is, that's surely a Bigfoot, and this Bigfoot is big. Once it comes into full view, we can see its beautifully tousled hair and massive physique as it confidently makes its way down the trail. Although we've reviewed a lot of Bigfoot footage, this is the first time we've seen one with a physique like this. His includes taking into account its fur, height, and physique. You gotta wonder, why is this one so different? Is it because it's a never-before-seen variation of the species, or simply because the whole thing is a hoax? I believe this one is authentic, but what say you? Everyone experiences an unexpected change in plans from time to time, but I'm not sure the farmer in the next footage ever anticipated experiencing what I'm about to show you. This farmer in India headed out of his farm not expecting anything out of the ordinary. He was, however, met with the sudden disappearance of one of his goats, which he went on a quest to find. But what he stumbled upon is nothing short of a wild scene. There, on his property, he comes face to face with a massive, bloated python slithering along in all its serpentine glory. It seems that the mystery of the missing goat is being solved in the most surprising way possible. Now, confronted with a situation that's clearly out of his hands, the farmer takes the wise course of action. He decides to call in the experts, in this case animal control, to come and handle the python. After all, dealing with a creature of that size and nature isn't something one can tackle alone. We have seen strange things on this channel, but none compared to what I'm about to show you. Are you ready? Have a look. Yes, you're actually looking at a bear with what looks like a mohawk on its back. We couldn't believe it either and had to quickly run a Google image search, but nothing came up. Google thought it was a cinnamon bear, but cinnamon bears don't have hair like that on their back. Could this be some rare mutation in that particular bear, or is there something funny going on in the woods where this image was captured? It's hard to say or verify since the uploader of the capture didn't state where it was captured, but do tell me what you think. How would you explain what you just saw? Doesn't it look like two animals combined into one? Because that's exactly what the one who uploaded the footage thought when he saw it. He actually thought he was seeing some ghost animal that was part coyote, zebra, and wolf. Watching the video, we can see where he's coming from, but we gave that idea a hard pass. There's just no way that's remotely possible. The footage is definitely that of a canine carrying the remains of some other animals. That's at least what we think. But what do you think? Ah, the mysteries of trail cameras, always ready to capture the unexpected. In this particular image, nestled among the trees, there's something truly intriguing. It's a creature, no doubt, and it appears to be rather massive, covered in a copious amount of fur. Now, the first thought that might cross your mind is a bear. They're known to frequent wooded areas, but there's something peculiar about the way this creature stands. It's almost upright, which is unusual for a bear. They do stand on their hind legs occasionally, but not quite like this. So here's the intriguing part. Could this be a Bigfoot? You know, the legendary figure often associated with large, hairy, human-like beings said to roam the wilderness. A part of me thinks so, but you look at the image again and you realize it's more a man than it is Bigfoot, especially when you take a critical look at its face. Is there another cryptid out there like this, or am I merely overthinking stuff? If you thought that was weird, then wait till you see this clip. The footage starts with the one filming zooming in on his target. It's easy to get lost with all the foliage around and assume we might be dealing with a plant or some squirrel or something. As the camera stabilizes and focuses, however, we realize that that could not be any further from the truth than it already is. Once the camera focuses, a creature comes into sight. The head of a creature with a ghostly white head emerges from behind the trees, resembling a skeletal figure that appears to have risen from the dead. Its eye sockets are empty, revealing a deep darkness. Other facial features are black. The unknown skeletal-like creature swiftly hides behind the trees as it realizes its cover has been blown, never revealing its face again. Are we reliving Coco film just in the land of the dead, or is this just someone dressed up for the shoot for the sake of views? Or could it be the infamous rake? Is that even possible? Share your thoughts. If you've made it this far and haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do that before we go on? Thank you very much. It means a lot. Moving back to today's episode, one of the creepiest sightings ever caught on trail camera. Don't believe me? Take a look at this. Did you see that? Did you see those captures? Where have you seen a creature that large before? What's more, it's not just any creature, it's clearly a large lizard. I know there are large lizards, but there's definitely no known species like this. What's more, lizards don't jump. Even if they do, I doubt they could reach this high. The uploader of the capture, whose trail cam captured this, believes it's an undisclosed species of flesh-eating lizards. He also believes they could be related to fish, as they're a bit fish-like. As exciting and disturbing as that sounds, a part of me just feels like this image might not be real. The image looks very good and very authentic, but I can't seem to shake the feeling off. Call it a hunch of some sort. What do you think about it, though? We have this footage from a YouTuber named Peter Canine. Instead of telling you ourselves, we'll just let him do the talking.
My father shot the Bigfoot in 1953. They had to cut it up.
Yes, you heard right. He says his dad actually killed Bigfoot in the 50s. He also adds that they've kept the body part refrigerated since then. As much as I love to see Bigfoot stories, I mean, if you follow this channel, you know we have lots of Bigfoot stories, I just don't think this is real. I mean, look at it. So many questions and so many red flags, like, why keep it refrigerated when he could have shown it to the world and gotten famous and even rich? It just doesn't add up. But tell us what you think. We'd really like to know. No, that's not a real-life dragon, and no, it's not a genetically modified creature either. Yes, it's real. It's called a flying lizard. Flying lizards, also called dracos or gliding lizards, belong to the agamid lizard family in the animal kingdom. They're capable of gliding flight using membranes known as patagia, which are created by an enlarged set of ribs. They are arboreal insectivores and highly territorial. They typically claim one or a few trees as their home, fiercely guarded by their males. They're known to live in tropical rainforests. Found across Southeast Asia and southern India, these creatures are fairly common in forests, areca gardens, teak plantations, and shrub jungles, and are nearly never found lingering on the forest floor. So as much as I'd want to tell you something dangerous is happening here, that creature doesn't pose a threat to anyone if you leave it alone. Relax, the dragons aren't here yet. Do you believe in angels? Well, if you didn't, this next footage will challenge your beliefs. This video was supposedly recorded on a surveillance camera in China. The footage captures cars on the road during what appears to be an ordinary evening. As ordinary as the footage starts, something extraordinary occurs. If you pay attention, you'll see a big white truck heading towards a person crossing the road. The truck driver doesn't notice, but just before he runs over the individual running on the bike, something supernatural happens. And it happens so fast that I'm sure not many noticed it. Just before the bike was run over by the truck driver, a human, or at least I think it's a human with supernatural abilities, moves in with the speed of light, grabs the man, and seemingly teleports to the other side. The rescued man is as equally confused as we are. The rescuer is kind enough to make sure the man is safe before leaving. Is this proof of superheroes living amongst us? Many who have seen this footage think so. Others think it might be an angel. What about you? What do you think? Also, have you seen, experienced, or heard such an encounter? Care to share? Here we have another footage of a dinosaur that was captured in the sky. The flying creature looks nothing like a bird. Just look at its webbed wings and long beak. And just the sheer size of it alone from that distance is enough proof that this is no ordinary bird. I'm not gonna lie, the thought of seeing creatures we see only in movies is very exciting, just like meeting your favorite actor or actress in real life. But this is not the kind of celebrity we would be pleased to take a photo with or shake hands with. And that leads us to the big question. Are we ready for this? The thought of encountering movie-worthy creatures in the flesh is exhilarating, but when those creatures are more interested in a meal than a fan club, things get a bit dicey. The ocean when afar is very beautiful until you find yourself surrounded by it.
Oh my God!
While on a voyage, a ship came face to face with a huge monster of a wave that left the crew in the ship screaming in fear for their lives. The ocean is unpredictable and on bad days can lift waves as high as mountains to swallow up ships and boats no matter how big they are. The unpredictable nature of the sea, influenced by weather patterns, currents, and other dynamic factors, informs sailors to approach the maritime environment with a profound sense of respect and caution. Have you heard about the eerie incident that recently occurred in Istanbul? The whole city plunged into darkness during the day, and not for just a moment, but a whopping 5 minutes. And that's not the most bizarre of things that day. It turns out the whole thing was caused by a giant black cloud measuring a whopping 10 kilometers in size. How often do you see that? What on earth could cause such a mysterious blackout? Well, there are several factors that could potentially lead to a temporary blockage of sunlight, such as an unusual weather phenomenon, environmental factors, or even a large object passing in front of the sun. This appears to be one of those situations. That's assuming the whole thing is real and not a hoax. The mysterious and often perplexing question of what awaits us after death has fueled human curiosity for centuries. This next clip was captured by a hospital ward security camera. In it, we see a sick woman lying in her bed when a sudden and unexplained event takes place. A glowing arm extends toward her. For the family, this glowing arm wasn't just an ordinary phenomena. They interpret this luminous arm as that of an angel, a celestial being that has come to guide the departed soul to its next destination, a realm often associated with notions of heaven and religious beliefs. Looking at this, everything within my gut says otherwise, but who am I to argue with the grieving family? But do indulge me. What are your thoughts on this? Check this out, another potential glitch in the Matrix. This girl's hair was stuck mid-air close to a wall with nothing holding onto it. After a while, she pulls her hair and it goes back to normal. For this, it could be a glitch in the Matrix. It could also be that a strand of her hair was clinging to the wall, but the strand is so tiny it looks invisible. Now that I say that out loud, it doesn't sound possible or smart. It definitely has to be CGI. This could offer a rational explanation, creating the illusion of an otherworldly event. However, in a world where unusual phenomena challenges our understanding of the ordinary, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we're witnessing a glitch in the Matrix. What do you think? Is it CGI, tiny hairs, or a sign that things in our world are a bit wackier than we think? Turtles are very reserved creatures. When I see them, I feel like they're missing out on life because of how slow they are. But this footage I came across put my mind in a new perspective. There, a unique footage taken of a sea turtle jumping out of the sea and going back in. I thought these guys were slow. Just look at how it pulls a few acrobatic skills before diving back into the water. That was amazing. I bet a dolphin could never pull that. So next time you see a turtle moseying along, just remember, beneath that seemingly laid-back exterior might be a sea ninja turtle. In the stillness of the night sky, an unusual and mysterious phenomenon captured the attention of an observer. A glowing object, unlike anything they have ever witnessed before, was visible in the distance. As you look closer, the object's fiery appearance becomes more distinct, but it is clear that it's not an ordinary flame. As the observer was trying to make sense of what they were seeing, a larger object suddenly appeared beside the first one. It was a star-shaped object with many tentacles around it, and it seemed to vanish into the sky as quickly as it appeared. The observer was left stunned and bewildered, wondering what these objects could be and why they were present in the sky. What could they be? Are they natural phenomena or something else entirely?
What the hell?
A pair of hikers were exploring the woods when they suddenly heard some strange and unusual noises. As they started to investigate, they noticed something moving from a distance among the trees. Intrigued, they decided to wait and see if they could get a better look. Gradually, their camera captured the image of a pale creature slowly making its way toward them. The creature appeared to be a rake-like figure, tall, thin, and with long bony fingers. The hikers were understandably spooked by this unexpected sighting and immediately decided to hightail it out of there. Looking at this creature, it's safe to say that the hikers made the right call by putting some distance between themselves and the creature. But what do you think this is? A rake or something else? If you have a soft spot for wildlife, then brace yourself for this set of clips. As much as I'd love to begin with a clever quip, this footage is just too disturbing and sad for me to come up with one that's appropriate. In the footage, we see deer moving around in circles till they drop to the ground. And no, these deer aren't possessed. Instead, they're suffering from a rare disease called chronic wasting disease. It's a transmissible neurological disease that not only affects deer, but other cervids like elk, moose, and reindeer as well. Fortunately, they can't transmit this disease to humans yet. If you ever see a deer experiencing this, please inform local authorities and stay safe out there. Now we have this popular yet very controversial footage from a couple of years ago. If I were to mention blood-sucking beings, what comes to mind? Vampires, right? But what if I told you there were other creatures known for sucking blood? Yes, that's right, vampires aren't the only ones. All these animals you were seeing had their blood sucked dry. Fortunately, the other blood-sucking creature has a taste for animals and not humans. It's a creature of legend known as a chupacabra, and one such creature has been drinking the blood of the livestock on the farm these clips were captured. And how do we know for sure? The farmers managed to capture it in action, but just before they could make it pay for its sins, it got away. They're convinced it's the legendary chupacabra, and we're leaning toward believing them. But what do you think? In Germany, a peculiar incident was captured on camera as a blue ray of light descended from the sky. The phenomenon occurred against the backdrop of the night sky, with the rays shooting down toward Earth. Some viewers suggested that it could be a directed energy weapon, a type of weapon that directs concentrated energy toward a target. The technology is often associated with advanced military systems and considered classified. Thankfully, though, this footage managed to make its way into the public domain. In the footage, we see it pointed to an area with houses all around. If this theory is to be believed, that thing is dangerous and human lives are at risk. The footage, however, shows no sign of chaos or destruction. Either it's not fired yet or the theory is wrong. If it's wrong, then the next theory is that it could be a laser from quantum satellite communication research. There are also some who think it's neither of these and it's simply a part of Project Bluebeam. What do you think? This unsuspecting man's encounter with a furry intruder turned out to be a hilarious mix-up. Never did I ever think I would call such an encounter hilarious. But enjoy.
Fucking raccoons. Get in my trash can.
Oh my god, that's a bear.
A man heard some noises outside his house where the trash cans were. Thinking it was a raccoon, he went out to confront the animal, but to his surprise, it was a bear rummaging through the garbage. Reacting swiftly, he hurried back indoors, realizing that dealing with a bear was an entirely different situation. I can only imagine the mixture of surprise, amusement, and perhaps a hint of terror at that moment. It's a classic case of mistaken identity. Nature has its way of reminding us of who truly rules the backyard, and from this footage, we can clearly see that mankind is merely a steward. Here's to our trash panda friend creating chaos and providing a good chuckle in the process. Have you ever had unexpected wildlife encounters in your backyard? Please share. We've heard a lot about Bigfoot and seen a number of bits of footage of them, and even some suspected vocalizations from them. However, this video makes me question a lot of things.
Are you Daryl from Progressive?
This man came across what he believed to be a Bigfoot in the woods. He started filming the creature, and the creature moved behind the trees. He proceeded to ask it a question, and the creature made a squeaky sound in response to what he said.
Are you Daryl from Progressive?
This sounds nothing like the Bigfoot vocalizations we hear, and if this is true, does it mean the elusive creature can't communicate? Ever heard of the conspiracies behind the fake sun and moon? Initially, I didn't really pay much attention until this footage came along. A woman was in a park during nightfall when she noticed this: 2 suns setting. One sun takes on a vibrant orange hue, while the other radiates a bright yellow light. This unexpected and perplexing sight has sparked curiosity and raised questions about what might be happening in the sky. The presence of 2 suns is not known in our part of the world. Our solar system has only 1 sun, so this is already a problem. We don't know what's going on or how this is possible. This next one is intriguing, if I do say so myself. At first, the camera captures a strange object in the sky, and moments later, a helicopter can be seen approaching it. The helicopter then begins to circle the object deliberately and methodically. The object in question is undoubtedly an unidentified flying object, as there seems to be no other plausible explanation. It's possible that the authorities were alerted to the object's presence and sent the helicopter to investigate. The fact that the helicopter is circling the object suggests that the authorities are trying to get a closer look at it. It's difficult to say what the object is or what its purpose might be. It may be a drone or some other kind of experimental aircraft. Alternatively, it could be something more mysterious like an extraterrestrial spacecraft. Whatever it is, it's clear that the authorities are taking it seriously and are doing their best to get to the bottom of the situation. What are your thoughts? Observe this peaceful scene of a man floating on the serene currents of the river, lost in his thoughts and enjoying the soothing warmth of the sun. However, unknown to him, a silent and deadly predator lies beneath the surface, the giant anaconda. As the man floats along, the massive snake silently approaches, but for some odd reason swims by without any concern or interest in the man. How come? Julius states that if the clip were real, the snake might have recently eaten. We know anacondas are big, huge, but the size in this clip is definitely exaggerated, which has us all thinking, it's definitely fake. What say you? A dinosaur's already back from extinction. A man came across a building that was shaking vigorously. As he zoomed in on what was happening, he noticed something quite disturbing. From the roof of the building emerged the strange head of a creature that did not resemble anything like the regular animals that we know. The creature was very tall because it was towering over the houses and it seemed hidden behind a tree. However, you could still see its head. It was oddly shaped like one of those dinosaurs we see in the movies. The man is very convinced that it is indeed a dinosaur. Well, we don't have much info on the footage, but if it is as he says, then humans have got a lot coming for them. Personally, though, I doubt that's a T-Rex. It would have been much bigger. But who knows? Imagine going for a walk at night when you come across this creature. A wolf-like creature walking on 2 feet. This is what is known as the Dogman. The stories surrounding the Dogman are like whispers in the night, tales of encounters that send shivers down the spine. Some say it's a guardian of the woods, while others paint it as a creature of the unknown, a spectral presence that chooses the night for its walks. This image leaves a lot to debate about. Could this be another of the many Dogman sightings, or is this just an edited picture? Encounters with wildlife, especially bears, can be unpredictable and potentially dangerous, and this footage highlights it better than most. Our hiker here was attacked by a bear cub. Fortunately for him, he knew what to do and screamed. He also had a stick, which he attempted to use in scaring the bear away, but this creature did not budge. The little guy rather pounced at the hiker and caught the stick between its jaws. It took the hiker a while to get the cub to leave him alone, but he eventually did. It's essential for individuals exploring areas inhabited by wildlife to be aware of the potential risks so they can take appropriate precautions. Maintaining a safe distance and avoiding confrontation is crucial when dealing with wild animals, especially mothers with cubs, as they can be protective and territorial. Let's just say this man is lucky Mama Bear was not around, because if she was, this may have been another kind of video, if you know what I mean. Our next mysterious footage was captured in Scotland, where the forest ground appears to be undulating, almost as if it were breathing. This has left viewers both fascinated and perplexed. The video was recorded after Storm Babette, which brought strong winds to the area and introduces a possible link between the weather conditions and a peculiar phenomenon observed in the forest. Look at how the dog was effortlessly lifted when it stood on the moving earth. This is so strange. Some speculate that the storm's impact on the soil and trees contributed to this unusual movement, creating a visual illusion reminiscent of breathing. Some even took a more fantastical approach, saying that the forest is a sleeping giant. Reminds me of the sleeping giant seen from Puss in Boots. In folklore and mythology, various cultures have ascribed spiritual or sentient qualities to nature. The concept of a sleeping giant, in this case, suggests that the forest possesses a dormant or slumbering essence, awakening in a manner reminiscent of breathing. But having seen it with your own eyes, what do you think this could be? Castles are historic places that hold a lot of history and stories over the years. Some are just tales, while some are real and even proven. We have footage that was taken on a foggy night at a castle in Scotland. Take a look. There in the fog from a distance is a castle, and slightly above it is a flying creature. The creature looks too big to be the usual bird, and when you take a close look, its wings resemble bat wings. Now you are getting the picture. This creature reminds me of a dragon. These creatures are just characters of folklore, so how is this thing here? My assistant Steve thinks it's a witch, and here I am wondering why he would even think that in the first place. Either way, this could just be edited footage to prank us all. What do you guys think? This has got to be one of the best bits of footage I've ever seen of a Bigfoot. The footage introduces us to a large being or creature moving through the woods. It stands at an impressive height of 7 to 8 feet tall. It makes you wonder what this creature could be. I mean, if you were to see it in real life, you'd be scared and wondering, which is exactly what happened to the one recording the footage. Once it made its way online, however, the paranormal community decided that the figure in the video had to be a Bigfoot, ruling out the possibility of it being a bear or ape. I mean, given its height and mass, it couldn't have been any of those creatures anyway. The allure of Bigfoot sightings has been a part of folklore and cryptozoology for decades, with enthusiasts and researchers eagerly seeking evidence of these mysterious beings. The quality of this particular footage adds to the intrigue as it provides a clear and detailed glimpse of the purported Bigfoot in its natural habitat. These creatures have taken over our woodlands, and we should not be surprised if soon we see them at our doorsteps. This man was cruising alone, filming himself, when suddenly a massive creature appeared in the water. And I'm not talking about your average fish here. We are talking big, like really big. Encountering a large creature in the water during a boat ride can be both thrilling and unnerving. When you are, however, not sure of what you're dealing with, it can be alarming, and that was the case of the man in question. He couldn't help but wonder if he had encountered an anaconda or another colossal aquatic being. For those unfamiliar with them, anacondas are large, non-venomous snakes that are known for their impressive size and strength. They're often found in aquatic habitats, which makes it possible that he had actually encountered one. In such a scenario, it's important to exercise caution and ensure safety. No unnecessary actions that will endanger you. While anacondas are generally not aggressive towards humans, it's essential to avoid provoking or approaching them closely. An anaconda sounds exciting, but is it really one though? What are your thoughts? A man while at the beach at an unknown location was live on social media when this happened. He saw this massive creature in the sea. Estimated to be between 20 to 25 feet in length, the creature was seen swimming toward the beach. The waves somehow appeared to act as a barrier, preventing it from getting too close to the shore. The situation drew the attention of the police, who arrived at the scene along with a gathering of curious onlookers. The sheer size of the creature has left many intrigued. Some propose that it could be a species of shark or whale, while others think it might just be another species that's less commonly seen near the shore. However, without additional details about the location and the more detailed analysis of the footage, it remains challenging to definitely identify the sea creature. There's bound to be someone here who knows what this is. If that's you, please do educate us in the comments section. We'll be reading. This footage showcases the breathtaking celestial bodies that adorn the firmament. The sun and moon, two of the most prominent features of the sky, appear to be of similar size when viewed from the Earth. This is a fascinating phenomenon, considering that the sun is actually 400 times larger than the moon. However, the moon is located much closer to the Earth than the sun, and this creates the illusion of them being the same size. The one who uploaded this clip, however, wants us to pay attention to more than just these celestial bodies. He says there's something alien on the left side of the clip. Looking at the clip, I get where he's coming from, but I just feel this clip was digitally manipulated. I don't know, but let's just call it a hunch. Next, we have a clip that seems to have captured a glitch in the Matrix. Take a close look at this tap. It looks like the water is frozen in time, but you can still hear the tap flowing. Curious, the one filming puts his finger where the water is supposed to be flowing, and sure enough, it is. So what could be happening here? It's a peculiar phenomenon that raises some interesting questions. Could this be a glitch in the Matrix, or is there something more complex at play? Perhaps the water's flow rate is so slow that it appears to have stopped altogether, but the sound of flowing water is still audible. Could it be an illusion? Perhaps the human eye perceives the motion differently. Either that or the footage is manipulated. The problem with this hypothesis is that we can't test it. Have you seen it, and what do you think? Buckle up for a celestial mystery straight from a road trip. Imagine catching a stunning sunset on camera only to realize you've got not one, but two suns stealing the limelight. Double trouble or double wonder. You decide. That's what happened to the one who captured this, but as you can see, one was orange and the other was a white orb with an orange hue around it. Beyond these basic descriptions, there are some who noticed a few things that could explain this. One observation was that it was a reflection. You can see because of the power lines that go through it. Seeing this, some proposed that the whole thing could be attributed to a hypothetical Planet X, suggesting the celestial body getting closer. What do you also think? During a routine plane journey, a vigilant passenger observed a perplexing phenomenon through the aircraft's windows. A luminous, unidentified flying object caught his attention as it gracefully navigated beneath the plane's wing. According to him, this went on for at least 10 minutes until, in an unexpected turn, the UFO initiated a deceleration and gradually descended until it eventually disappeared into the vast expanse of the sky. What are your thoughts on this mysterious encounter? Do you lean toward a more conventional explanation or find yourself intrigued by the possibility of otherworldly phenomena sharing the airspace with commercial flights? Tell us in the comments section. If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more videos like this for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. Someone captured an enchanting footage of a mermaid resting on a rock in a serene beach, and we've got it. Enjoy. The mermaid was facing toward the sea, and its long, lustrous hair flowed down its back. Its shimmering tail was visible from the camera angle as it swung back and forth. Mermaids have always been a part of human folklore for centuries, often depicted as half-human and half-fish beings. The concept of these mythical creatures has fascinated people for generations, but whether they exist in reality or are mere figments of human imagination remains an enigma. If we are going to answer the question using this footage, then we'll put them in the realm of fiction, since this looks very unnatural and very unrealistic. But perhaps that's just me. What do you think? In this peculiar clip, a man is seen lying flat on the ground in his garden with his back to the earth. Then, in a matter of seconds, he starts to levitate. As he floats in the sky, he holds out a skipping rope and swings it back and forth beneath his legs, demonstrating that there is nothing there supporting him. He then proceeds to swing the rope over his head, further confirming that nothing is holding him up. Looking at this, I'm reminded of the old Chinese movies I used to enjoy when I was younger. Yes, I am old, I know, but that's not the point. I know we want to believe in the supernatural, but if you're gonna fake it and deceive us, at least make sure your fake is impressive. The discovery of these mysterious tunnels around the world has sparked both curiosity and speculation. These enigmatic passageways, concealed in various forms, ranging from sewer-like openings to holes in city streets, have captured the attention of explorers and conspiracy theorists alike. Some explorers have stumbled upon fully furnished structures with electricity. The condition of these spaces varies, with some appearing untouched while others bear signs of abandonment. While some believe that these discoveries might be genuine underground utilities or storage spaces, others are very convinced that they belong to an interconnected subterranean world. That sounds exciting, but what are your thoughts on these underground mysteries? Do you think there's a vast network connecting them, or is it more likely a mix of utility tunnels and urban legends? This next footage was also taken by an unknown woman at an undisclosed location.
I'm not quite sure what this is about, but this cloud keeps flickering red.
In it, we see a specific section of the clouds illuminated in a vibrant red hue, prompting varied interpretations from viewers. Several netizens have put forth different explanations for the phenomenon. Some propose that the red glow could be a result of lights from buildings below reflecting on the clouds. On the other hand, a section of those who saw it propose another theory, suggesting that this occurrence might be linked to the oil industry. Specifically, some propose that it could be the result of flaring, the controlled burning of unwanted gas in oil fields, a practice that can cause clouds to glow. Conspiracy theories also make an appearance here, with claims ranging from chemical interventions to extraterrestrial involvement. To an extent, those sound far-fetched even for me, but what do you think? Passenger who was traveling on a plane managed to capture intriguing footage of strange orbs moving in the skies. The video has caused quite a stir online, with some people believing that it shows a genuine UFO sighting. However, I made an interesting observation. The strange orbs are just a reflection from the plane on the window that the camera picked up. The video is shot from the window of the plane and seems to show several white orbs moving about in the sky. The orbs seem to move in time with the camera's movements, which indicates that they're not actually in the sky, but rather a reflection from the plane's window. What do you think? Do you believe that that's a genuine UFO sighting or just a reflection from the plane's window? A passenger looked out the window of a plane and was surprised to see this. While looking at it, I couldn't tell what I was looking at, but according to the uploader, it's an unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UAP for short, that has been seen many times. He stated that the craft appears to be similar to the one that YouTuber Jake Paul captured on his cell phone. Has any of you seen whatever clip he's referring to, and did it look legit? If it did, then perhaps there's a possibility that there are actual extraterrestrials amongst us.
What the fuck is that?
In Melbourne, Australia, a contractor spotted this in the sky. It was a luminous orb in the sky. Seeing such a thing naturally made him curious, but it was not until he had captured the image and zoomed in that things took an unexpected turn. The revelation of what appeared to be a doorway on the luminous orb. As with any unexplained phenomena, speculations run wild. Some propose the idea of a blue beam projection, a technology that projects holographic images into the sky, while others delve into the possibility of a portal existing within the luminous orb. The concept of a portal suggests an opening to another dimension or realm, leaving the imagination to wonder what the potential destinations could be. Skeptics, on the other hand, consider the likelihood of the entire spectacle being carefully orchestrated hoax, a product of advanced technology or visual manipulation. What do you think?
That's crazy, man. What the fuck?
Next, we have footage from a trail camera that captured this strange creature, and people can't seem to figure out what the creature is. The creature in question has a pair of glassy, glowing eyes and a pig-like nose. Its skin is pale, and it has shoulders that look humanoid. The rest of its body is not captured by the camera lens, leaving it up to our imagination. Though we cannot make out the creature, people have come out with ideas, and the most recurring answer, Mothman. For those unfamiliar with him, the Mothman is a cryptid that gained notoriety in West Virginia during the 1960s. He's often described as a humanoid figure with large wings. While the image captured by the trail camera doesn't reveal the creature's wings or the lowest part of its body, the peculiar characteristics mentioned have sparked associations with Mothman. Personally, I really want the capture to be the Mothman, but then again, anything is possible these days, so I'd want your take on this as well. What do you think we're dealing with here? According to the one who sent this in, this video footage was recorded over a decade ago by a diver who was exploring the depths of the ocean. As the camera captured the underwater world, an unusual creature caught the diver's attention. The creature appeared to be a fish, but its body resembled that of an insect with long, thin legs protruding from its sides. The creature's tail was that of a fish, but its movements were more akin to those of an insect. The video has since gone viral, with many viewers expressing their disbelief and amazement at the creature's unique appearance. However, some skeptics have suggested that the footage could have been created using CGI. What do you think? Take a look at this peculiar creature. It's a massive beast that looks like a pig that has been given a dose of steroids. The creature even appears to have 3 horns on its upper back, which makes it even more intimidating. It almost looks like a hybrid of a pig and a Rottweiler. Seeing something like this naturally has us thinking a lot. What is this creature? How did it end up like this? If it's truly real, or does it even eat? Aaron calls it a dog pig, or pig dog. While that looks like a befitting name, Julius chastised us a lot for believing this is real. He believes it's altered footage, since there's no way parents would allow their kids near something this scary. Yet we have 2 toddlers petting it. Either way, we couldn't seem to come up with an agreement on what this might be, or if it's even real. Can you help? In this riveting footage, a group on a boat expedition through the forest stumble upon a celestial enigma. However, hovering in the skies was a dark ethereal mass reminiscent of smoke surrounded by a flurry of birds. The air was thick with intrigue, and the observers must have felt a shiver of awe and wonder. Could this mysterious floating entity be a natural phenomenon, a play of light and shadow, or does it harbor a more supernatural essence? Some might speculate on atmospheric conditions, while others might entertain the possibility of an otherworldly presence. What are your thoughts on this puzzling encounter? Smoke signals from the cosmos, or nature's dance of light and shade? We've got this clip that shows 2 moons in the sky. Initially, it looked like just a moon and a star, but as the person zoomed in, you noticed that the other smaller one was a crescent moon, but not as bright as the bigger one. This celestial mystery prompts a cascade of speculations and discussions amongst viewers, each grappling with the enigmatic nature of the phenomenon. The possibilities are as diverse as the interpretations, from atmospheric anomalies to potential celestial alignments. As we contemplate the celestial tapestry above, it becomes evident that the universe is an endless source of fascination and intrigue, always ready to challenge our understanding of the cosmos. In this intriguing footage, a mysterious creature is captured in someone's backyard. The creature appears to be tall and dark, with its white teeth visible in the darkness, creating a chilling sight. The creature's dark fur makes it difficult to discern its features, but one can slightly make out its long legs and hands, which adds to the eeriness of the scene. The creature stands there for a few moments, as if assessing its surroundings, before suddenly vanishing into thin air, leaving the observer puzzled and bewildered. The video raises many questions about the identity of the creature and its origins. Could this be a real undiscovered species lurking in our midst? Share your thoughts. A mysterious and unsettling creature has been caught on a trail camera. Its appearance is truly disturbing, with strange features that are difficult to describe. The creature appears to have transformed, starting as a human and gradually morphing into its current form. Reports on this creature are scarce, but those who have seen it claim it's a truly terrifying sight. The origin and nature of this creature are unknown. Could we be looking at a shape-shifting alien? What do you guys think? In this next footage, a group of men are seen holding a man down. The man appears to be struggling with them. It almost looks like he's floating in mid-air, but the men are holding him down. Immediate thoughts are towards the supernatural. Could this man be possessed or subject to some mysterious force? As our investigation lens delves deeper into the subject, a fascinating revelation emerges. It turns out that the initial perplexing scene is a result of clever video manipulation. The footage has been artfully reversed. The mysterious aura surrounding the situation dissipates as we uncover the meticulous editing that has taken place. I must say, they almost got me there. Whilst out with his kids, a man came across this: clouds on the ground. Now, I don't know how this is possible, but that's what we see. Strange, if you ask me. Naturally, when this popped up online, people were shocked, and that led to some rather interesting theories concerning the footage. Some thought it was part of a government spy aircraft cloud camouflage. Sounds crazy at first, but when you think about it, it's quite possible, wouldn't you agree? Some also proposed an alternative perspective, suggesting that it could be a byproduct of a toxic substance in the sky. This theory raises concerns about environmental and health implications if that's true, but there's no way of determining that now, is there? After all, some who saw it are dismissing the footage as a hoax, attributing the cloud-like formation to ordinary cotton. Yet upon closer scrutiny, the transparency of the anomaly challenges the notion that it could be a mere cotton formation. Could it be pure CGI, or is there something else at play here? I think I'll leave that up to you to decide. Leroy, a subscriber, shared this footage of an unusual sighting in a small village outside of Berlin. According to Leroy, his wife was walking their dog when she spotted the strange object and decided to film it with her cell phone. The object appeared to be flying in a straight line and had an unusual shape that was inconsistent with that of a drone or a balloon. Leroy's wife even looked for drone pilots in the area, but none were found. Interestingly, this sighting was not the first strange occurrence that Leroy and his wife had witnessed in the area. They had also seen a strange lighting glow in Berlin the day before, but it is unclear whether it was related to the UFO sighting. The fact that they've witnessed many strange occurrences in the area suggests it may be a hotspot for paranormal encounters. What would you do in their shoes? A group of scientists allegedly came across this tiny winged creature, which they first found fossilized in a rock. They've been carefully studying and cleaning it, as well as scanning its features. Its appearance has naturally caused some confusion among scientists, as it resembles a fairy. The creature has been thoroughly examined, but it doesn't match the description of the beautiful and elegant fairies we see in cartoons and folklore. So the question remains, is it an authentic fairy or is it a forgery? Sometimes I don't even know why I ask, but I am asking. What do you guys think? Real or not? Enjoying this episode? Kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already so we can keep bringing you more clips. Done? Okay, well, let's continue with the day's episode then.
No, there it goes. Finally, I knew I shouldn't go in. Everything was telling me not to go in, that I needed to be recording.
In Winston-Salem, a woman came out one evening for some fresh air when she noticed something strange going on with the clouds. Lights were blinking on and off behind the clouds. She said initially the clouds with the lights blinking were above her head. The lights, which were initially blue, changed color as they moved further ahead of her. The color changed to orange. As weird as this is, it was not the weirdest part. There was a long, lingering, heavy feeling that they just couldn't get rid of. This mysterious event leaves both the observer and curious onlookers grappling with various questions. What could be the source of these peculiar lights behind the clouds? Is it a natural phenomenon, an atmospheric anomaly, or perhaps something more enigmatic? These are questions we may never truly have official answers to, but in the meantime, feel free to share your thoughts. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? Thank you very much. There have been reports flooding in from all corners of Oklahoma about sightings of strange and mysterious luminous objects illuminating the night sky. The ambiguity surrounding these sightings fuels a range of theories. Some individuals posit that these luminous objects could be experimental aircraft or drones, possibly of military origin. Others entertain the notion of otherworldly visitors or advanced technological entities exploring the skies. Local communities and the broader public are left to ponder the significance of these sightings. Whether these phenomena are rooted in classified military activities, natural atmospheric occurrences, or something beyond our current understanding. I know you want my views on it, but my team and I are doing some digging around for evidence. We'll have a full video explaining these things coming up soon, and you wouldn't want to miss that, trust me.
This is the battery, along with the Bluetooth device.
I'm just gonna plug them in right now.
We're talking about actual voltages.
Yeah, I think we should go left.
Left.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Okay,
Doing
then.
donuts.
What do you call a cockroach with cybernetic enhancements? A robo-roach. Some men connected a battery and a Bluetooth device to a cockroach and set it on a table. While the creature was capable of moving on its own, the individuals in question were able to control its movements. It's certainly an innovative idea, but it also raises some serious concerns about the implications of such technology for humans. The concept of mind control and sleeper agents doesn't seem so far-fetched anymore, and it's hard not to worry about the potential consequences of this kind of technology. Julius doubts that such a technology exists, but if anything, this clip serves as a reminder that we need to be thoughtful and cautious as we continue to push the boundaries of what's possible with AI and other advanced technologies. So someone sent us this clip telling us it was a fuel tank belonging to the Space Shuttle Endeavour. For those unfamiliar with it, the Space Shuttle Endeavour was one of the orbiters in NASA's Space Shuttle program. It was named after the British HMS Endeavour, the ship commanded by James Cook on his first voyage of discovery, 1768 to 1771. Endeavour was constructed to replace the Space Shuttle Challenger, which was lost in an accident in 1986. Its construction was completed in 1991, and it made its first flight, STS-49, in May 1992. Now, I'm no NASA expert, but I can tell when something is wrong with the clip. Is it just me, or does this clip seem a tad unnatural? For our next footage, perhaps I should just allow you to watch it and tell me what you think. So, what do you think about the footage you've seen so far? You do see the trees in the background, don't you? And you do see the structure to the left side of the screen, right? As interesting as those things might be, they can't compare to the hairy creature. You see the hairy creature too, right? What is it? Well, no one can say for sure, but given the fact that the trail cam capture is from a secluded area without any bears or apes, all who have seen the photo believe it's Bigfoot. Frankly, there's little evidence to prove or disprove it, so we're gonna sit out passing judgment for this one. Now, I've seen weird things in my day, but nothing could have prepared me for this. The middle finger on the hand appears to be significantly larger and thicker than the other fingers. The difference in size and thickness is very obvious and noticeable. The situation raises questions as to what could be the cause of this anomaly. One possibility is a medical condition such as a bone growth disorder or an abnormality in the circulatory system. Another possibility is that it could be a birth defect. However, there is also a chance that this could be the result of an otherworldly influence, perhaps an alien. Unless, of course, the whole thing is fake. One thing we can all, however, agree on is that a slap from this hand would set you straight. Before the next clip, Aaron asked me to ask you if you've already hit the like, subscribe, notification bell icons, because he doesn't want to send a Skinwalker your way, if you know what I mean. Have you ever killed a mosquito and seen purple blood instead of red?
Acabo de matar un mosquito y literal es púrpura. Ahí están viendo, es púrpura. Acá está una cama. No puede ser.
Well, this woman was bitten by a mosquito, and when she killed it, she saw that the mosquito had purple blood instead of red. Bizarre, right? While it might sound strange, this kind of thing isn't uncommon in biology. Some types of mosquitoes, especially those in special environments or with different eating habits, might have blood that's a different color because of what they eat or how their bodies work. We can't say that's what's happening here, but this is Mother Nature we're talking about. Either that or there's a new kind of mosquito out there that our scientists haven't seen before. What do you think?
Acá está una cama. No puede ser.
If you think that was weird, take a look at this creature someone found washed ashore on a beach. It looks wet and it's hard to tell if it's hairy. It had these strange-looking lines that looked like they were opening on its body with hairs sticking out of it. Now here's where it gets spooky. You watch kind of fascinated and freaked out as the whole creature seems to be moving, not just from the waves, but like it's alive and breathing right there on the beach. So what is this thing? Is it a new sea creature nobody's seen before, washed up on the shore by chance? Or maybe it's something even crazier like an alien from a sci-fi movie? Share your thoughts. Everyone loves their aerial drone clips, but sometimes if you are very attentive, you'll see what others have missed. The next clip is no exception. This was supposed to be ordinary footage of a mountain, but someone slowed the clip and noticed something rather odd. A glitch appeared for a moment and then disappeared, leaving behind an oddly shaped craft that lasted for only a second. Could this enigmatic glitch be evidence of a UFO with a cloaking device momentarily revealing itself before retreating into the shadows? I'd like to think that's a tantalizing possibility given the long history of sightings and encounters with unidentified flying objects. Either that or someone's playing the editing game with us and passing it off as the real thing. Without more information, it's tough to say for certain. Perhaps it's merely a trick of the light or a glitch in the footage itself, rather than a visitation from beings beyond our understanding. What's your take? Let us know in the comments section. Have you ever been on one of those long family trips? Do you have any interesting memories from them? If you do, I doubt they can compare to what this family captured from their trip. As you watch the current footage, notice the camera's focus on a tree at the center of the frame. Keep an eye on that tree and you'll spot a shadow moving behind it. Do you see it? It doesn't look like anything you have encountered, does it? If you were hoping I'd identify this creature and share its history as we usually do on this channel, I must disappoint you today. We have gone through our archives on cryptids and other paranormal beings, and it doesn't match with anything in our database. We're tempted to think that this is the first time this paranormal being or shadow creature has been caught on camera. Some, including the family that recorded it, have stated it's definitely a Bigfoot, but that's something we just don't see. Do you, though? This camera footage was taken from the entrance of a home where an eerie creature comes into view. Taking a critical look at the creature, it has a head shaped like a light bulb and glowing red eyes. It appears to be maintaining balance with two strong arms by its side. It repeatedly comes into view and then retreats into the darkness. It's hard to say if it's afraid or luring its next and potential victim. What could this be, and where could it have popped out from? Is it a possessed doll acting as the landlord of the house when the owners are not present? An evil spirit that has attached itself to the house, perhaps? Many think it's a rake, but I call it fake. I know I rhymed there, but well, that's the game. Maybe I should stop before you call me out for lame dad jokes, but either way, what do you make of it? There is a widely accepted belief among various cultures in the scientific community that civilizations existed before our time. Over the years, evidence of such past civilizations have been found in the form of various artifacts.
This one really isn't my story, but we'll talk about it briefly. Anybody in here know what that is? Okay, so we got at least one person in here that knows what it is. Let me show you another picture, close-up of it.
Recently, a cave explorer made a fascinating discovery in a private cave located in Manti, Utah. The explorer came across two rocks in the cave, one of which was glowing. The other rock, which was found to be an unusual stone, resembled an ostrich egg but was made of rock. The explorer didn't touch the glowing rock but took flakes from the strange stone for testing. Upon testing, several things were found in the stone, including human blood that dates back as far as 3000 BC. This enigmatic artifact raises many questions. Could it be a relic of a bygone era lost to the annals of time? You tell me.
I can't tell you those kind of things on any of this stuff. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know who owns it. I know who had access to it when I saw it, but I can't even give you that information. That's not for me to give.
Intrigued by this discovery, I went digging around and discovered even more news on golem-looking creatures. This sighting was also captured in the valleys of Beijing. Unlike the first one, this one had huge ears and moved rather quickly. On second thought, I think the first one is also capable of moving quickly. The difference is in the shyness, at least those are my thoughts. This was allegedly captured by a tourist who was exploring the valleys of Huairu, located north of Chinese capital. According to the tourist, he was taking a short break when he noticed the creature suddenly appear. The sighting has caused quite a stir among locals in the tourist community. Personally, it's stirring up thoughts within me as well. Why are there golem-like creatures appearing in China? Is there something in China we're not aware of? Is the golem-like creature to the Chinese what Bigfoot is to the Americans? So many questions. Either way, what do you think of both sightings? Do you think trees can secretly talk like the toys in Toy Story? Well, the next individuals we're featuring seem to think so, even if jovially. The footage starts off with two friends leisurely walking through the woods. After introducing themselves, they introduce us to an unusual sight. There, on a tree, is a face. Not the kind of face like patterns you sometimes see on a tree, but an actual face protruding from the bark. It has what looks like eyes, a unique nose, and an open mouth. The remarkable part? It doesn't appear man-made. The features seem to naturally emerge from the tree's bark. While the two friends jest and tease, you have to wonder, is this just a quirk of nature, a tree with an unusual growth, or could there be a more mystical explanation, like a possessed tree? In a tale that highlights the untamed instincts of the wild, a man raised a coyote as an unconventional pet and decided to take it den digging one day. Once in its natural habitat, however, something changed. The creature, perhaps stirred by the call of the wild, seemed to forget its domesticated life and, to the surprise of its owner, turned less receptive, playfully.
Oh, hey little coyote. Ow! Come here. Can we be friends? Ouch!
A man plays along and even puts his hands in the mouth of the coyote. If that doesn't scream trust and cute, I don't know what would. This looks like some sort of apocalypse. In the footage is the moon looming ominously closer to Earth. Now, before you start stocking up on canned goods and building your underground bunker, it's important to exercise a healthy dose of skepticism. I don't know about you, but it all seems a bit too, fake. It seems more like a movie than real life, and the quality of the video is kinda questionable too. While it will be disappointing if this is edited, it wouldn't be so surprising. After all, the internet is chock full of doctored footage and elaborate hoaxes designed to dupe unsuspecting viewers. The last thing I want, is to mislead you guys. But then again, maybe I'm being too much of a skeptic. What do you guys think?
Pero usted está en el patio, pues.
Pero es que el árbol ahí está reparando. Aquí acabo de caer aquí,
Yeah.
Now, this lady is holding a small rock in her hand. The rock has this intricate design on it. According to the story, she said she saw the rock fall from the sky and that it even felt hot to the touch. Some think it's a piece of a meteorite formed in space and hurled toward Earth through the atmosphere. If that were true, it would make this rock an incredibly rare and fascinating object, as it would contain clues about the early formation of our solar system and the wider universe. Others, however, speculate that the rock may be something more extraordinary. They suggest that it could be a fragment of a celestial object originating from a distant planet or even another galaxy. If this is the case, the rock could hold secrets about the origins of life elsewhere in the universe and provide crucial evidence for scientists seeking to understand the mysteries of deep space. While I pondered what the possibilities could be, I noticed something about the woman's fingers, and surely enough, other members of my team did too. We checked the comments section, and someone had too. Can you see it? No? Editor, let's bring up the comment right now. You see it now, don't you? Her fingernails have dark dirt in them that looks to be similar color as the rock. It's made everyone who noticed it think she created the rock herself and passed it off as being extraterrestrial. What do you think? Technology, our modern ally in capturing the extraordinary, recently played a crucial role in unveiling our next clip, which is nothing short of a dramatic scene. Picture this: a person navigating their drone camera through the snowy aftermath of a heavy snowstorm in the woods when suddenly the lens catches a man in frantic escape. What's chasing him? None other than a colossal bear. As the drone approaches for a closer look, the bear, mid-pursuit, takes notice of the flying intruder. In a moment of shared recognition, the bear turns to acknowledge the airborne spectator before resuming its chase. The fate of the man remains uncertain, but it is our hope that he managed to outrun the bear and find safety. Next, we have a security camera that recently captured an intriguing yet eerie scene. The footage reveals a dog standing on the balcony, attentively observing the surroundings. Suddenly, a pair of mysterious legs clad in black pants dashes across the frame. Strangely, instead of reacting with alarm, the dog wags its tail seemingly unfazed and tracks the movement of the legs. This raises an interesting question. Could this be a hoax? Typically, animals are known to be sensitive to paranormal activity, and one might expect the dog to bark or exhibit signs of distress. However, the dog's seemingly nonchalant response prompts skepticism. One possible explanation could be that the legs belong to a spirit or entity familiar to the dog. Now that I say it out loud, it sounds like a stretch, but what do you think about the whole thing? A group of cave explorers came across this eerie scene in a cave. In the middle of the cave, there's a pile of human skeletons stacked like pillars. The old bones tell a sad story of something bad that happened long ago. But that's not all. As the explorers keep going, they find another room full of bones, skulls, leg bones, ribs, all mixed together like a scary puzzle of death. What happened in this lonely place to leave behind such a scary scene? Was it once a graveyard where people buried their loved ones? Or maybe something worse hides in the darkness, waiting for someone brave enough to find out? Next, we've got a rather unusual discovery. Take a look. Someone posted this clip on the internet showcasing a crash site that was being closely guarded by men in uniforms. A second look, and you'd realize that the object they seem to be guarding is in no way terrestrial. In other words, it doesn't look like it belongs on our planet. But how is this possible? Did the government run into a UFO and decide to transport it? Then again, if it's the government, it would be done in secrecy, so no one sees it. Unless, of course, they want us to know there are aliens and they've got things belonging to these aliens. Personally, I don't think that's the case. If it was, it would be on every major news outlet. It was at this point in my confusion that a team member mentioned the possibility of it being a movie set. Why didn't I think of that? After all, Hollywood is known for creating elaborate sets and props that simulate otherworldly scenarios, and it's not unusual for such productions to have security personnel controlling access to these sets. The presence of uniformed guards could imply that it's a high-budget production that requires extra security measures. That's what we're thinking, but let us know what your thoughts are. Next, we see an image I never expected to see on the internet. The image you see on your screen was taken from an old slave plantation. In the capture, we see what appears to be a small house in the middle of nowhere. That's not the weird thing, as we see such houses all the time. The strange thing about the capture is the fact that we see what appears to be a ghostly figure in shackles within the building. The being has a whitish skin, and that's as far as it goes. But why would someone put themselves in shackles in an abandoned building somewhere? The law here is they did not. Instead, it's believed that what you are actually seeing is the soul of one of the previous slaves who had been held in the facility. As weird and as wild as that might seem, that's the accepted truth. You might be wondering, is that even possible? Well, the evidence of its existence is what you see in the capture, unless, of course, the whole thing is false. For our next footage, we go all the way to Indonesia for a rather unconventional capture. Don't just take my word for it, take a look. Yes, you're actually looking at some sort of weird-looking giant. This is the first time we've seen this particular footage, and a subscriber here drew our attention to it. According to the original uploader, the creature just showed up at the end of their street and remained still as though it were waiting for something or someone. Looking at the creature, it's much larger and taller than an estimated size we have for Bigfoot, suggesting it's not a Bigfoot. It appears to have a lot of fur and is obviously a humanoid. Does this fit any known cryptid? Well, not one that we are aware of, but as much as I'd love for this to be real, it just doesn't feel like it. I have a strong feeling that whoever uploaded this was trying very hard to mislead us. I think this might have been a statue or something set up in the area where the footage was taken from. Given the fact that nobody is running or screaming in the footage, I'm tempted to think so. Just in case you're wondering what I think about the camera shake, well, I believe it's more fake than the video is. The shake doesn't even look the least bit realistic, but that might just be my thinking. What do you see when you look at the footage? Do you think I'm being overly critical and skeptical? Share your thoughts in the comments section. I'll be reading. Cloning has always been a fascinating yet controversial topic. It's a subject many avoid for obvious reasons. This next clip might change their opinion, though. You see it too, right? A factory producing silicon human heads, torsos, limbs, and other body parts. Isn't it amazing how detailed and realistic they look? The movement of the robotic upper torso gives me the heebie-jeebies with its lifelike movements and gestures. While I see what these could be used for, I can't help but wonder if it's safe to even have them. I mean, anyone could be impersonated using these cloned body parts. One second thought, how do we know that's not already happening? After all, we've got some world leaders acting weird and not like themselves every now and then. If these things are truly being used to impersonate others, then perhaps we need to be extra careful. What do you think, though? Do you think that that's a possibility, or am I just being a conspiracy theorist? Please share your thoughts. Someone shared this footage. It was a video of a disc-like craft being chased by a jet. Unfortunately, the exact location where the incident was captured remains unknown. The jet seems to be in hot pursuit of the UFO, which has led some commenters to speculate that the UFOs are government-made and that the jet is accompanying the craft. This would explain why the jet is so close to the UFO. However, others believe that the footage is entirely fake and that it's been doctored to make it appear as if the UFO is being chased by a jet. It's worth noting that there have been numerous instances in the past where people have claimed to have captured footage of UFOs, but these have later been debunked as hoaxes or natural phenomenon. Members of my team think that might be the case here, but then again, nothing's false until it can be proven so, right? Anyway, what are your thoughts? Next, we have another one of those forest captures that is sure to leave you questioning everything you know and have accepted about this world. Have a look. The footage you see on your screen currently was captured by a man who was going through the woods on a beautiful sunny day. He was having one of those days when you can't shake the feeling that something otherworldly is lurking nearby, if you know what I mean. He could never shake off the feeling, and he understood once he got to the location he shot the footage you see on your screen. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that there's a dark figure in the center of the footage. Although it's not very clear, the uploader states that there was a tall ape-like beast or creature going on about its business there. Even though the creature hadn't noticed him and he was at a distance, its presence still filled him with fear. The fear he felt the moment he noticed the creature was, however, nothing compared to what he felt when the creature finally stood on its feet. At that moment, he realized that it was larger than he had already anticipated. At that moment, he felt the creature had noticed him, but it paid no attention and walked further into the woods, disappearing from sight. It's hard to authenticate the footage due to its blurry nature from being overly zoomed in. But what do you make of the footage? Do you think this is real? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. If you thought that was weird, I have one that might calm your nerves. Enter Bigfoot. The footage you see has been the cause of many debates. The debates have been on its authenticity. If you ask me, however, the creature or being moving in the footage does not appear to be CGI. The only way this could be fake is if it was a human in a bodysuit. I'm no expert, but that doesn't seem to be the case here, unless, of course, you know some 8-foot humans that are willing to play dress-up in the woods. Even then, I doubt the costume would come out this good, but that's just me. What do you think? No, this is no alien. This is actually a species of bird on our planet. If you're expecting me to tell you which, I won't be doing that because it's our bonus clip of the day. This is your opportunity to show us how much you know about the Earth as we search for signs of life out there. Tell us what bird this is and give us one fact about it. The best answer gets a feature and shout out in our next episode. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Start your answer with the word bonus so we can easily identify it. All the best. This next one was sent in by a subscriber of this channel. Just a quick reminder that you too can send in your clip. According to him, he captured it on a trail cam he'd set in the woods near his house. It was meant to capture wildlife, but instead it captured a life that, although wild, didn't fit your typical description of wildlife. There on the screen is a girl moving across the forest floor with the fluidity and grace that's almost otherworldly. But here's the thing, she's not just strolling along like your average hiker. No. She's running on all fours. Her movements so animalistic that at first glance you might mistake it for just another woodland creature. But hold on, it gets even stranger. The girl, dressed in human clothes but sporting an animal mask and a tail, effortlessly leaps into the air as if defying gravity itself. It's a scene that's as mesmerizing as it is baffling. Could it be a person with inhuman abilities, or is this some type of prank stunt being pulled on the trail cam owner? Delving into the realm of UFO sightings, a notable piece of footage emerged in 2013, which is now going viral due to the various alien conspiracy theories. Passenger aboard an aircraft captured an intriguing formation of lights. These mysterious lights were arranged to create a triangle pattern, which brings to mind nothing but UFOs. Initially, the lights remained stationary, casting a glow across the sky. However, when they eventually started to move, the coordination was so precise that it suggested a single unified craft. The catch? Human-made aircraft don't typically fit the bill for this triangular formation. Left with no conventional explanation, the footage fuels speculation that what was captured in those skies might just be a UFO, an unidentified flying object, potentially of extraterrestrial origin. Venturing out to capture the serene beauty of mountain greenery, a man found himself unexpectedly turning his lens towards the unknown. Behind a rocky outcrop, a creature reminiscent of the elusive Bigfoot made a brisk appearance, striding across the open field. The one who shared the footage online claimed it was his personal encounter with a Bigfoot. Critically, looking at the footage, however, this Bigfoot looks too human. Its body isn't that big, and its movement is more human than creature. Its muscle makeup and all others make it look like it's nothing more than a human in a costume. Personally, I see no Bigfoot. What about you? A peculiar craft was recently spotted in the sky, hovering among the clouds. The object is disc-shaped and has several rotating circles around its perimeter. As it moves across the sky, the circles keep rotating at a steady pace, giving the impression of a machine in motion. Witnesses described the object as completely silent and moving with great agility, unlike any aircraft they've ever seen. Some have speculated that it might be a new kind of unidentified flying object, while others believe it could be a secretive military aircraft. The take of my team is that this has to be a hoax. I don't agree with them, though. Until we can prove beyond reasonable doubt that it's false, I don't think we should call it that. What do you think? As we all know, gravity is one of the fundamental forces of nature that plays a crucial role in our daily lives on Earth. It's the force that holds everything together and keeps us grounded. However, I recently stumbled upon some intriguing footage that has left me feeling confused. In the clip, a hand is seen grabbing a strange piece of stick that's shaped like a spiral. The stick is then placed under running water, and to everyone's surprise, it begins to spin as it moved upward while still under the running water. While I'm no science whiz, I doubt this follows the law of physics. Unfortunately, our resident scientist is out of the studio investigating a phenomena we intended to show in our next clip, so he can't be of help. Can any of you help? Is this some kind of optical illusion or trick of the camera? Or is there really a scientific explanation for the phenomenon? Please share your thoughts. A rider cruising through a wooded path was met with a curious sight, a peculiar figure standing on the ground mere inches tall. Clocking in at about a foot in height, this tiny being stood motionless on the road. The rider, struck by an unusual encounter, entertains the notion that it could be a jinn, a concept rooting in Islamic beliefs as mischievous spirits. Yet upon closer inspection, the creature appears to be more plant-like, nestled on the side of the path. The juxtaposition of its small stature against the forest backdrop raises questions about its true nature. Is it a mere botanical oddity, or could it harbor a supernatural and malevolent entity? I guess we'll never know. In a refreshing contrast to the unsettling, our next footage takes us into the mystique of the woods, where a trail camera captured an extraordinary scene. Late at night, an ethereal being, radiant with illumination, gracefully glided through the surroundings. Its shape defied conventional definition, a formless glow moving with an otherworldly elegance. Speculation arose amongst skeptics, suggesting that this radiant entity might be an angel. The way it glowed and moved fueled the imagination, inspiring thoughts of celestial beings gracing the depths of the woods. Is this truly a celestial visitation, a play of light, or perhaps a trick of the lens? Share your thoughts with me. This heartwarming incident captured on camera shows that animals can display compassion towards each other. It's all started when a poor cat fell into a body of water and was struggling to keep its head above. Fortunately, a dog noticed the cat's plight and quickly jumped into the water without any hesitation. The dog then swam toward the cat and allowed it to clamber onto its back. The cat, now standing on the dog's back, was able to climb out of the water safely. The dog's selfless act of kindness towards the helpless cat shows that animals can be incredibly compassionate towards each other. While many found this heartwarming, a number of them were upset and wondered why the person filming did nothing. I can't fault them for thinking so, but it doesn't take away the fact that this was rather heartwarming anyway. In recent times, there have been numerous reports of creatures that have been found and suspected of being alien or extraterrestrial origin. While some humans dream of meeting aliens, one guy's out there actually transforming himself to look like aliens, and one such individual is currently undergoing a project to transform himself into an alien. He's aptly named his endeavor the Black Alien Project and has undergone multiple surgeries to modify his body to resemble that of an extraterrestrial being. As part of his transformation, the man has tattooed nearly 90% of his body with black ink and has also altered his lips to give them an inhuman appearance. His upper lip, in particular, bears a striking resemblance to that of an alien. Looking at the progress he's made so far, it can be said that his project is looking quite promising. So while he may not hail from the stars above, he's certainly making waves down here on Earth with his unique project. What are your thoughts on his transformation? Deers are curious, yet very careful creatures. It's only natural for them to observe unexpected and unknown objects in their environments from a safe distance. Clearly, that's what the doe in this capture is doing. She's noticed the strange light orb and is looking at it. But what at all could it be? Well, if you've been on this channel for long, then you know that the deer is looking at a spirit orb. They tend to become visible during heightened spiritual or paranormal activity. At least, that's what we believe. Is the capture legit, though? We want to believe it is, but there's something offsetting about its looks and body language. I just can't seem to put a finger on it. Perhaps it's just me. If you notice it too, please do share it in the comment section. It's hard to tell what exactly we are looking at, but there's no denying that whatever that is, it looks like what a kangaroo would look like if it had an interest in photography and is capable of smiling. The footage was clearly captured at night in a very dark environment. This makes it hard to discern what lies beyond the camera's immediate area of focus. Despite the uncertainties associated with the image, it's evident that the creature is humanoid. Could it be a previously undiscovered cryptid, or is that merely a normal kangaroo standing in front of a trail camera? Could the odd nature of the image be the result of bad lighting when the image was taken? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Alright, let's dial down the drama a notch. Imagine you're scrolling through some footage and stumble upon a group of people in uniforms gathered around this large metallic sphere that's appeared out of nowhere on the beach. It's definitely an unusual sight, no denying that. The sphere itself is pretty straightforward. It's big, metallic, and has an almost otherworldly sheen to it. But beyond its appearance, there's not much else to go on. No clear explanation of how it got there or what it's doing on the beach. Now, some folks are tossing around the idea that it could be of alien origin, but let's not jump to conclusions just yet. It's just as likely that it's some kind of man-made structure or even a piece of equipment that's been washed ashore. But hey, who knows? Maybe there's more. What would you do if you were out exploring the woods and came across a creature such as this? Yes, I did say creature, and anyone who has watched Lord of the Rings would understand the reference. This creature was reportedly captured roaming a Chinese valley. The creature was found crouched, but only for a short while, as it did its best to get away from those filming it. We're not exactly sure if it knew it was being filmed. One thing that we however know for sure is that it didn't like it one bit. So what is it? Well, no one is really sure. The Chinese thought it was a Jiangxi when they saw it, but the appearance and movement didn't match what they knew about the Jiangxi. For those unfamiliar with the term, also known as the hopping vampire or hopping zombie, is a reanimated corpse from Chinese folklore known for its stiff, hopping movements and its thirst for the life force of the living. This didn't look stiff, and it was too shy to be one. One creature, however, fits this description: Gollum. Anyone who has watched The Lord of the Rings or read the books is familiar with the character that was cursed into its grotesque appearance with its emaciated form, pale skin, luminous eyes, and jagged teeth. Up until this time, we've always thought it to be fictional, so what could be going on here? In this video clip, we witness a late-night ride with the passenger recording the journey as the car passes through a grove of trees illuminated by an overhead light. However, the drive takes an unexpected turn when the car slows down, drawing attention to a peculiar sight. Among the trees, a dark creature moves. Due to the limited visibility and darkness, it's hard to tell exactly what it is. Many in the paranormal community speculated that it might be a skunk ape. Given the fact that we have little to go on about, it's an impossibility, but there are others who think it's nothing more than a black bear and that the footage was recorded by some park rangers. The video offers a fascinating glimpse of the animal's size and movements, but it's essential to remember that sometimes in low light or unusual conditions, things may appear differently than they actually are. So I have said what I believe it to be. What do you personally think? Next, we have a trail cam capture from the woodlands that's somewhat blurry. In the capture, however, we see the trees and some leaves hanging here and there with little to no grass on the ground. With all the blurriness and no grass, situation is a black object lying lifeless on the ground. Shape-wise, it comes off as an ape-like creature lying on its back. I'm tempted to think ape or Bigfoot, but perhaps it's simply my paranormal and imaginative brain at work. What do you think, though? What do you see when you look at the capture? I'd like to read in the comments. And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.